Here's Doug Smale. 83 points on the year, 39 goals, 44 assists. He has a chance to break Taylor's scoring record. He has another season to play. And here's number 11, Mark Taylor. All-American, record-setting scorer at the University of North Dakota, and he and Smale excellent when the Sioux skate short-handed. Bill Sykes, number 25, and Sykes bothered just a little bit by a sore right shoulder, injured in that 4-1 win over Dartmouth on Thursday. Here's Mark Chorney, 6 feet, 200-pound junior, and you'll hear that name a lot tonight. Very fine checker. He and Walker, excellent defensively. There's the other part of the tandem, Howard Walker, 6 feet, 200 pounds, 25 points for him and 45 for Chorney this year. And there's Darren Jensen, the freshman, 12-0-1, 2.26 goals against average, and quite a night for the freshman from Preston, British Columbia. Steve Dowling, John Ritchie, Blaine Farkas, the officials who will work the game tonight. And now let's listen to our national anthem. For hockey for the Division I NCAA Championship. The Wildcats of Northern Michigan and the Fighting Sioux of the University of North Dakota, both huddling up around their goalies prior to face-off time. Once again, our referees for tonight, Steve Dowling is the referee, John Ritchie the referee, and Dwayne Marcus is the linesman. It's the Fighting Sioux looking for that national championship for head coach John Gino Gasparini in his second year. Last year, a 4-3 loss to Minnesota in the finals. And this year, Sioux will have to beat a team that has already defeated them twice to win that national title. As you see the encouragement they offer their freshman goalie, Darren Jensen. Sioux won the opening round against Dartmouth 4-1. And the Wildcats of Northern Michigan came back with a 5-4 win over Cornell last night. Neither coach very happy with his team's performance to date. Gasparini said the Sioux were a little tight as the puck is dropped, and the Sioux will pick it off. Behind their own cage, looking to break it out of their own zone, and we're underway for the national championship from Providence, Rhode Island. Down into the corner, a foot race. And into the boards, looking forward is Stignanelli, number 10. We got a whistle, and we'll have a face-off. See a very aggressive brand of hockey tonight. In fact, the conversation in press row following the opening round was the physical play of North Dakota in their win over Dartmouth, and the same story in the Northern Michigan battle with a very physical Cornell team. Face-off coming to Jensen's left. Puck is dropped. Taylor can't get a stick at it. Off the boards, out to the blue line, and Smale pushes it up to center ice, picked off there by the Wildcats. They shoot it down into the corner. Walker stops and goes rink wide into the attack zone, shot down into the corner, and the foot races on to see who gets there first. Hard check, Smale into the boards with a good check on Laidlaw. That's going to be quite a matchup tonight. Laidlaw, the fine defenseman, and Smale, the fine penalty killer and goal scorer. That's Phil Sykes. Sykes, number 25, can't get a stick on it. Smale picks it up behind the cage, trying to center the pass. Can't do so. Good defensive play. as he is ridden off the puck. And this gives you some indication of the body contact you're going to see tonight as the puck comes to center ice. Looking to move it into the attack zone is Tignanelli. Tignanelli is ridden off, and we're going to have a penalty against North Dakota. Doug Smale whistled off at 19:02 of the first period, so we're going to get our first look at the power play of the Wildcats of Northern Michigan. They've hit on 31% of their power plays this season, hitting on 56 of 180. Time of the penalty is 19:02, 2 minutes for tripping. Face-off coming in the Sioux attack zone. The Wildcats control it. They push it for Joyce by his stick down into the corner. It goes behind the Sioux net. Joyce after it, trying to get a stuff shot, but couldn't get it free. Comes out in front and pushed over to the boards on the near sideline. Pyle trying to get a stick down. Sioux trying to ice it away, but they couldn't get much on it up to center ice. No red line play tonight. We'll explain that. That's an NCAA rule. They do not use the red line tonight. You can shoot in from across that first blue line. So the Wildcats come back on the attack. Down the left side, ridden off the play by Mark Shorney. Puck comes out in front. Nobody home for the Wildcats. Comes harmlessly to the right side as they go corner to corner now with the one-man advantage. Time of the penalty now 1:22 in the power play for the Wildcats. Number 4 out there is Don Waddell. Fine score. He's going to take the slap shot. Stick save made by Jensen. Pushed into the corner. Wildcats still control it as Mike Milkey picks it up. It's a very prolific first line out there right now as Shorney freezes it against the boards. We'll have a face-off. Milkey with 60 points. Waddell with 48. And, of course, Bill Joyce with 95. It's a total of 74 goals and 127 assists for that first line as both teams will change now. Sykes is on along with Travis Dunn for North Dakota as they try and skate off the first penalty of the evening. 1 minute and 8 to go here at the 18:09 mark. First period, no score. Face-off coming to Jensen's stick hand. Comes back out to the point. Wildcats trying to break on top early here with a power play. Here's Jensen making a save, pad save, off to the right side, comes into the corner and is iced by North Dakota. Sykes gets a stick on it, pushes it down the far end. Weeks saves it back there for Waddell, who will start the rush now for the Wildcats with 45 seconds remaining in the penalty. Joyce at center ice, number 20, looking for the open man. And finds him coming in across the blue line, looking for a shot on the far side is Laidlaw. Laidlaw has it poke checked away. Sykes picks it up. Board pass on the far side for Brad Cox, number 4. And Cox will send it up to center ice. Gets by the defenseman there. And the Wildcats have to chase it back into their zone and set it up again as the clock shows 25 seconds remaining in the penalty. Waddell drops the pass, and the Wildcats across the blue line to Joyce. The pass is a little long, and coming in to ice it away is Travis Dunn. Dunn shoots it down into the corner. Sioux have been rather stingy on power play situations this year, allowing only about 14%. Here's that shorthanded situation. You see a centering pass coming out in front for Taylor. He couldn't get a stick on it from Sykes, and the Wildcats come right back now as the Sioux return to full strength. Smale back on the ice. Waddell shoots it down into the corner. Travis Dunn goes back there looking for it. So does Pyle of the Wildcats, and they try and freeze on the boards on the far side. And Sykes was he going to get the face off? No, he doesn't. It's poked out of there by Pyle. Out to the point. Slap shot. Berrigan is wide to the left side. Sioux pick it up and try and break it out of there. Pass comes long, and we're going to have an icing call coming up against North Dakota. And we'll come back the long way for the face-off here at 16:37 with no score. Your impressions so far of what you've seen of the Wildcats? Okay, here we go. The face-off is going to be controlled by Ludwig for North Dakota. Stops the pass behind him. The Sioux trying to break it out. They've not had a good rush yet tonight. The Wildcats very pesky defensively as Ikola keeps it in. Easy save for Jensen. Puts it behind the cage looking for Ludwig. Ludwig is double teamed back there, ridden off the puck. Still up for grabs as the Wildcats put the pressure on. They tried to get it to Houck, number 7, but it was just off his stick. Back in the far corner, Zappernick trying to clear for North Dakota. Trying to get a stick on it for the Wildcats is Walt Kyle, number 27. And the Wildcats keep it in behind the Sioux cage. Chorney picks it up, shoots a board pass on the left-hand side to center ice. Too long for Dean Decision, number 18. We go to the far side, and bringing it into the attack zone is Rick Myers, number 24. Back up to the point it comes, Ludwig, number 2. And the Wildcats once again control. Sioux have not had a scoring opportunity as yet here. Almost 4.5 minutes gone. First period, no score. For the national championship, North Dakota and Northern Michigan. Another rink-wide pass coming in on the right wing side with a hard slap shot that goes high into the crowd, and we'll have a face-off.
On the wingers that had the most success against North Dakota in that series was Kyle feeding Ncaa on several goals. Ncaa, in fact, had 4 goals in that 2-game total goal series, and they've looked probably the most effective so far.
Okay, the face-off in the Sioux attack zone. Big pile-up. Here's a quick shot out in front. That's wide to the left side. Out to the point. Sioux try and keep it in. They do. Punched back in there by Chadwick, number 21. Martins tries to chase it down. So does Dusty Carroll. A collision on the far side as Vulcan is taken out of the play. Back into the Sioux zone to retrieve it as Walker. Up to the blue line. Berrigan knocks it down. Now the Sioux come back on the attack. Martins, number 17, slap shot. We got an offside. Offside, North Dakota. They're at 15-13. North Dakota has lost twice to this Northern Michigan team by scores of 4-2 and 4-3. Second game in overtime. Face-off coming at center ice. As the Wildcats send out their number 1 line of Milkey, Waddell, and Joyce. Joyce, number 1 scorer in the nation. Mark Taylor, North Dakota, is number 2. Here's Travis Dunn, number 20. Shoots down into the corner. Berggraf, the Berggraf line on right now. Berggraf tries to get it to Knightsky. Knightsky with a shot on the left side. Stick save made by Weeks. Behind the cage, centering pass comes off the stick of Meyer. Pushed away by the Wildcats. Back to center ice. Could have been trouble, and the Wildcats push it down into the corner and being chased in there by Joyce. Joyce ridden off the play. Buck behind the cage where Sioux will pick it up. Out to the point on the far side. Weak shot comes in there from the Wildcats. Steve Fisher. Once again behind the cage. Collision. Berggraf goes down. Back up to center ice and chasing it for the North Dakota Sioux is Mike Knightsky, number 23. And again, the Wildcats push it back. But North Dakota's there to stop as they play tag at center ice right now. Laidlaw knocks it down and starts a rush on the right wing side. Makes a nice move to get free. Could be trouble as he's taken off the play. We're going to have a tripping call coming up against North Dakota. May have been a pretty good penalty. Looked like Laidlaw may have had a chance for a pretty good shot, Tony.
It almost was a repeat of what was happening last night. Laidlaw, the big defenseman from Brampton, Ontario, breaking through all alone, but he was hooked from behind, and once again, North Dakota will be a man short.
Brad Cox skates off at the 14-13 mark for tripping. Second time the Sioux have skated shorthanded tonight. Once again, the Wildcats with the power play opportunity. They're at 14-13 of the first period. Face-off will come to the right of freshman goalie Darren Jensen. 2 minutes for tripping. Steve Bozick will face it off as the Wildcats control that face-off. Once again with a man advantage coming on the left wing side. Shot knocked down in front. Loose puck swept away by North Dakota, and they get it up to center zone where the Wildcats will track it down. Wildcats on the attack. At center ice. Sioux are dangerous shorthanded. Smale has 8 shorthanded goals. Into the attack zone comes Waddell over on the left wing side, looking for the man out in front. That's Pyle there right now. Goes over to Joyce. He's going to have the slap shot. Knocked down by the defense in front. Taylor got a stick on it. And the Sioux ice. Nice play by Taylor defensively. And Walker was able to get a stick on it and push it down into the far corner where Smale is scrambling with Waddell for it. Puck against the board, still in the Northern Michigan zone. North Dakota, very pesky team, skating shorthanded. Here's Joyce, board pass with not much on it. Picked up by Tom Laidlaw. Laidlaw starts the rush. Pushes it down into the corner, and the chase is on. North Dakota gets there first, and the Sioux ice it off the glass and into the crowd. Ricocheted off the plexiglass into the crowd of a face-off in the Wildcat attack zone as both teams again change lines. 13-11, no score, 58 seconds to go on the penalty to Brad Cox.
Well, Northern Michigan will be sending out a new power play unit, as the Sioux will also be sending out some new penalty killers. Between Taylor and Smale, they've combined for 12 shorthanded goals this year, and that's quite a feat to have 2 players to do that much.
Here's the faceoff, comes back out to the point, and the Wildcats control. That's Steve Fisher, number 3, over on the left-hand side. The Wildcats lose it, go back and pick it up. North Dakota skating short for the second time. Slap shot is wide of its mark, comes hard around to the boards to Houck. Houck, number 7, pushes it behind the cage, looking for Kyle. Kyle back to Houck. Tried to work the give and go, but it wasn't there. Out on the point, and the Wildcats keep it in as Fisher pushes it down to the corner. Houck with a slap shot, knocked down by Walker, the defenseman, comes back up to center ice, and the Wildcats will have to regroup with 27 seconds to go in the power play. Kyle finally picks up the puck, but there's an offside as Houck was in a little early. Number 7. Offside, and they'll bring it back to center ice for the faceoff. 25 seconds to go in the penalty. 12:38 to play in the first period. No score. North Dakota in northern Michigan. The NCAA Division I Championship of College Hockey. You're watching it live from the Civic Arena, Providence, Rhode Island. In case you just joined us, Darren Jensen, the freshman, starting in the nets tonight for the North Dakota Sioux. As we await that face-off, Ncaa going against Martins. Now Ncaa skates out of there, and his place taken by Bozak. Sioux control, and it's knocked to center ice. Wildcats pick it up. Houck, rink-wide pass, nobody there, and Mark Chorney's going to pick it up and shoot it to center ice for Martins, who's going to come in the right wing side. May have a shot, nope, bad angle. Tries to get free, tries to stop, comes out in front, nobody there, and Kyle picks it off for the Wildcats. As North Dakota putting the pressure on, skating a man short. Kyle loses the puck as he comes into the attack zone. We have an offside again against the Wildcats. Another face-off now with 2 seconds to go in that power play for the Wildcats, and both teams will change lines once again.
It was interesting with Craig Ludwig on that play, attacking in the northern Michigan end. He went to the center deep slot, and this is where northern Michigan was beaten badly last night against Cornell. Maybe the Sioux has found a weakness that they feel they can attack northern Michigan with.
Okay, on the face-off, very quickly, Brad Cox will be out on 2 ticks of the clock. Here he comes, the Sioux back at full strength. They've skated off their second penalty in this period. Down in the corner, the Sioux will control it as Mickey Vulcan, the freshman, has his stick on it. Gets it up to the blue line, and the poke checked away, but the Sioux retain possession. Into the attack zone comes Rick Zapernick, and Rick is double-teamed and ridden off the play. Puck down in the corner, North Dakota controls. Here's the centering pass, kicked away by Weeks. Just to the left side, comes out in front. North Dakota gets a stick on it. On the left wing side, looking for the centering pass. That's on the boards on the far side, and it's going to be frozen out of a face-off as Zapernick got a skate on it, along with Jeff Toskoff, the pudgy little defenseman for the Wildcats.
I was surprised that there wasn't a high sticking called on that, playing the puck above the waist. Neither Steve Dowling or John Ritchie called anything. It was hit by Steve Weeks, and then Laidlaw controlled the play after that, but they let the play continue. Face-off will be to the right of goaltender Steve Weeks.
Nice look at Rick Zapernick, one of 8 seniors on this Sioux hockey team. Sioux 38-1 on the year. The Wildcats 34-5-1. On the face-off, Zapernick challenging Toskoff for it. Comes to the far side. Berrigan up along the boards to Dagnanelli. Now the Wildcats will control into the attack zone. Here come the Wildcats. Both teams at full strength. Kyle coming on the left wing side, right wing side. Easy save for Jensen. Pushes it aside with his stick. Fight for possession. The Sioux come away. We got a 3-on-2 break. North Dakota. Zapernick's shot is kicked away. Loose puck. Zapernick comes in to sweep it away, but it's frozen by Weeks, the Wildcat goalie, and we'll have another face-off.
Northern Michigan was caught in a deep forechecking pattern there. That's one thing that Coach Rick Conley wanted to try to avoid. They were going to try and just send one man in on certain occasions and keep a couple men back so they wouldn't get caught in a 3-on-2 or 3-on-1 situation as they did on that particular play.
All right, awaiting the face-off. Okay. We wait. Here's that last angle right here. Here you see it. Zapernick just wide as we go back to the live action now on the face-off. Sioux trying to keep it in. It's taken by Waddell of the Wildcats. Breaks across the blue line, and again, the Wildcats are offside. The Wildcats have been offside in their last 3 rushes, Tony, and the face-off again comes back to center.
I think that it's still the jitters of being here in their first national tournament. Last night, Coach Rick Conley was disappointed. Now we're going to get a penalty.
Okay.
Assessed to Mike Milkey.
Mike Milkey just took a swing and knocked Edwin Martins to the ice. So Milkey goes off, and I'm assuming it's going to be a roughing call. Talking to the official, and he says, what did he hit him for, was the question. You may have heard it. And so for the first time, the Wildcats will skate a man short in the roughing call to Milkey. That was about have to say that the first 9 minutes have been relatively free of any extracurricular activity, and Milky took a swipe at Edwin Martin, so now the Wildcats skate short. We see the Sioux power play for the first time tonight at 11:03 of the first period, no score. Wildcats have it at center ice. Houck overskates the puck. The Sioux pick it up. This is Howard Walker, number 3. Gets it on the left wing side to Sykes. Knocked down. Wildcats trying to get a rush. Waddell can't get to it. Sioux control for the moment. Walker has it taken away. Look out. Here comes a shot by Pyle, and the glove save made by Jensen, and we'll have a face-off. Nice move by Jeff Pyle, the sophomore from Bloomington, Minnesota, to get free.
Jeff Pyle has a tie for the team lead in shorthanded goals, and we're going to see a replay on that right now as he steals the puck, goes in on Jensen. He has 5 already on this year.
Okay, the face-off back to the live action. The Sioux trying to get the power play going, having some trouble getting organized. Now Mark Taylor heading up ice, centering this power play operation as he comes into the attack zone, takes a hard check, goes down, puck down to the corner. Sykes tracks it down, goes behind the cage, tries to get the centering pass. Laidlaw poke checks it away. Sioux control it, keep it in at the point. Here's Taylor. Taylor, number 11, looking for the centering pass, has Smale out in front. Puck swept away by Weeks, and it's finally punched in, I think, by either Sykes, or was it? No, either Sykes or Smale.
Northern Michigan had trouble clearing that man out. Weeks was able to stop the first one, but just didn't have control of the puck, and was laying right out there, and North Dakota takes the lead.
Here it comes. Let's see what happens now. As Weeks made the save originally, right there, and that's what happened. The puck stuck in his glove, and there you see the goal. Tom Smale for North Dakota at 10:17. So North Dakota breaks on top of the power play goal here with 10:17 to play in the first period. North Dakota 1, Northern Michigan no score. Both teams back at full strength. So North Dakota uses their power play to good advantage. Berggraf in the face-off. The Berggraf line on there right now. Wildcats get it back. Houck has it poke checked away as he gets into the attack zone. Sioux bring it back up into center ice. And the Wildcats push it back down into the corner. Vulcan. Pass on the far side is brought up into center ice. Play becoming a little more spirited now as both teams seem to be over the jitters. Here with the first period half gone, and North Dakota leading 1-0. Rink-wide pass is knocked down by the Wildcats. But the Sioux keep it in center ice as Knightsky takes a hard check, but gets it into the corner. That's White going into the boards and bringing the puck back out to the point. Knightsky's going to get the slap shot, and a stick save is made by Weeks. It goes up into the crowd. We'll have a face-off. That line right now on there for North Dakota is Knightsky, Berggraf, and Glenn White. As in the opening game and again tonight, Coach Dino Gasparini going with 4 lines when the situation permits.
Recapping that scoring, it was Doug Smale scoring his 40th goal of the season. That coming at 9:43 of the first period. Assists Mark Taylor and Phil Sykes.
All right, Taylor adds again to his assist record every time he gets one, and he had one of the assists on that goal by Tom Smale. North Dakota 1, Northern Michigan no score. Slap shot from the point, a glove save made by Weeks. He decides to freeze the puck. Slap shot by Mark Chorney high into the right side. We'll have a face-off here at 9:29 of period 1.
There's still a little battle going on also for the national scoring title. Right now, Mark Taylor has 92 points. Bill Joyce, the current lead for Northern Michigan, with 95.
Sioux control the face-off. Loose puck comes up to the blue line and punched back in by Ludwig. Laidlaw trying to clear for the Wildcats. Wildcats down by a goal. Joyce, leading scorer in the nation, gets it up to the Wildcat blue line, but the Sioux track it down to bring it back into center ice. Chadwick pushes it down. Easy save for Weeks. Hard collision along the boards, and Chadwick comes in, centering pass out in front, couldn't get there. Sioux still trying to get something going as Dusty Carroll goes down into the boards, and we've got a little difference of opinion with Dusty Carroll and Steve Fisher. No whistle as the Sioux will change lines before the face-off. Dusty Carroll, number 9, felt he was treated unfairly by Fisher in that mix-up in the corner. So the Sioux change lines with that 1-0 lead here in period 1. 8:54 to play. Zapernick, number 19, will face it off as we get a look at Weeks, one of the fine goalies in the country. Had 49 saves in that 4-2 win over North Dakota in February. He's a good one. On the face-off, Wildcats trying to clear. They've had trouble clearing in their own zone the last couple of times down. Now they put up into center ice as Bozic is ridden off hard. Puck goes across ice where Rick Zappernick picks it up. Brings a pass up to center ice, intending it for Dean Decision. But the Wildcats are there, and Laidlaw, number 2, tries to get something going for the Wildcats. As they take it across, Danganelli with a shot. Glove hand save made by Jensen. Shot was not a hard one. As Vulcan skates into the corner, and now the tempers begin to flare just a little. The first 9 or 10 minutes of this period, as we see the replay, rather uneventful, but now tempers starting to show. There's Jensen, and you see the swipe made at the puck while it was in the glove hand of Jensen. And you'll see both teams, or any hockey team, do that. They really protect the goalie. Vulcan...
It's a good play on the part of Jensen to hold on it as Bozek was there just waiting for that rebound.
Bozek trying to get his stick and flip that puck free, and Vulcan rode him around into the corner to exchange words. No penalty, and the faceoff will come to the glove hand side of freshman goalie Darren Jensen. Creston, British Columbia. He's unbeaten this year. 12-0-1. His 13 starts.
Please report to the North Dakota dressing room.
Doctor has been called for North Dakota to report to the dressing room. That may have been an injury to Dusty Carroll. We'll wait and see. And that mix-up in the corner a couple of minutes ago. The Sioux in the face-off. Riding in hard on the right wing side, looking for the centering pass to Zappernick. It's full checked away. Zappernick gets a stick on it down on the ice, tries to get it. The boards on the far side to Rick Myers, can't do it. Bozek comes away with it, number 19. Quick little skater. Can't get the shot away. Leaves the pass to Dagnanelli on the left side. He goes behind the boards. He and Vulcan. Sticks fly as the puck is still up for grabs. Going to be frozen against the boards. And again, we have sticks coming up high as a stick is swung by Dean Decision. And Decision leads the Sioux in penalties with 86 minutes, number 18. You saw that stick come flying up, and we may have another penalty coming up against North Dakota. I think there's an altercation with some of the fans or something down on that far side.
There's a lot of Northern Michigan fans standing right in the area. We're blocked out of view what's happening right along the boards, but we did see a Decision stick come fly up. Both him and Tignanelli be going out.
Tignanelli, number 10, and Dean Decision, number 18. Both skate to the penalty box. Here at the 8:01 mark, first period, North Dakota 1, Northern Michigan no score. Face off to Sioux control, picked off by Travis Dunn. He waits behind his cage for it, and the Sioux trying to break it out of there now. Each team a man short. Back to Travis Dunn. Travis Dunn shoots it down to the attack zone, high in the air, an easy shot and an easy save for Weeks. Steve Weeks, a senior from Scarborough, Ontario. There you see Doug Smale, who's got the lone score in this first period, his 40th goal of the year. What a season for the junior from Moose Jaw. His 84th point. Smale on the faceoff. The Wildcats will clear it up to center ice. Kyle, Walt Kyle, gets it across the attack line, and once again, the Wildcats are offside. Wildcats' timing has been off in the rush tonight, Tony. It's
well, there's
another offside against them. Face-off coming up at center ice.
There is an opportunity where Phil Sykes was able to pull Kyle across the line and keep him from coming back across, waiting for Kyle to come across.
On the face-off, Travis Dunn controls, gives it to Cox, back to Dunn. Each team a man short. This is Cox. Trying to get it ahead to Phil Sykes. Sykes gets into the attack zone, ridden off the play, but gets it back, chases it down to the corner. He and Laidlaw going after it behind the cage. Now the Sioux pick it up. Each team a man short. Smale out on the point. Travis Dunn. Not easy save for Weeks with a stick. Pushed off into the corner. Wildcats try and clear it. Sioux keep it in. Tom Smale trying to get a stick on it. Gets a pass over to Sykes. Sykes has the shot. Saved. Smale on the rebound. Scores. Sykes had the shot on the left wing side. Weeks made the stick save, and Smale was parked right in front for the easy goal, and we'll see it again as Tom Smale has his second goal of the night. Tom Smale, number 8. Here it comes. First we'll see number 25, Sykes, right here. There's the shot. Well, look at this. Tom Smale with room to spare with his second goal, his 41st of the season, his 85th point, and it's 2-0. North Dakota gives Sykes the assist.
Once again, it was a situation where Northern Michigan was not able to clear the man out front. Both the two Wildcat defenders were behind Smale, so they were unable to get him out of the way.
Doug Smale, his second goal of the night, and North Dakota moved on top 2-0 with 7 minutes, 10 seconds to play here in the first period. We're battling here in Providence, Rhode Island for the national championship of collegiate hockey. Craig Ludwig keeps it in for North Dakota. He's ridden off by Berrigan, number 5. Berrigan will try and clear out for the Wildcats. That goal came with both teams were skating a man short, and they still are. 50 seconds to go on those two penalties to Bagnanelli and decision. Here comes Travis Dunn, pushing it ahead for White. White in a foot race with Koskov. Loose puck picked up behind the cage by Joyce. Joyce leaves a pass back there for Berrigan. Berrigan having trouble getting his stick on it. Wildcats appear to be a little disorganized right now, down 2-0, having trouble clearing in their own zone once again. White pushes it over on the right wing side and picks up the loose puck himself and brings it in. The Sioux changing on the run. Rink-wide pass goes to Mark Chorney. Slap shot goes high over the net off the plexiglass, picked up by the Wildcats behind the cage, and they try and break it out of there. Koskov across the line, getting some pressure as they try and set it up. Waddell, number 4, tries to shoot it in. It's knocked down at center ice for the Sioux again on the attack. As both teams are at full strength, and the shot goes high into the crowd off the stick of Ludwig, and will bring it back to center ice for the faceoff. Both teams are back at full strength at 5:56 of period 1. It's North Dakota 2 and Northern Michigan, no score. Dakota trying to avenge a double loss at the hands of these Wildcats back in February. Face-off just inside the Sioux blue line, comes back to center ice, and Walker waits for it there. Gives it to Mickey Vulcan. Vulcan in the middle looking for Dusty Carroll. He's ridden off the play with a good check, loses his stick, goes back to pick it up as the Wildcats start a rush, and shot down to the corner by Fisher. There to pick it up is Vulcan. Vulcan, number 5, takes it behind his own net, goes up on the right wing side. It comes to center ice, and this is Dusty Carroll. Dusty Carroll is a man with him, and the pass is too wide for Erwin Martins. Martins gets a stick on it, a board pass. Coming around to the far side as Chadwick tries to get there, can't get a stick on it. Martins now behind the cage, challenging Fisher for it. And we're going to have a face-off.
North Dakota has really regained their composure. They were off to a shaky start Thursday night, although trailing throughout most of the game 1-0. They were in control of play for most of the contest. Historically, the Thursday night winner has had a better chance of winning the championship game. In the 32 previous tournaments, 21 of the champions have come from the Thursday night contest, while only 11 have come from the Friday night game.
Has to be a factor, Tony, the fact that you play on Thursday and have Friday to rest up. North Dakota was on the other end of that situation a year ago as the Sioux had the face-off. Centering pass out in front. Decision couldn't get a stick on it, and the Wildcats controlled. The Decision couldn't quite get a handle on that fine centering pass. Looked like it may have been goal number 3. The Wildcats challenging, and these Sioux try and flare. Now the rush is on. Mickey Vulcan carries it in. We have an offside as he whistles a slap shot wide to the left side. Players have complained both in the opening round and also in games yesterday of the warm temperatures here in the Civic Arena. In fact, Joyce last night after the game said it seems to wear you down a little quicker. He said it's very warm and very dry in the arena. A number of players have complained about it.
The ice has also been a major problem since it's only been in for a couple days.
Okay, the face-off at center ice. North Dakota with a 2-0 lead. They push it down into the corner. That's off the stick of Brad Cox. Wildcats going to retrieve it. Wildcats have not made much of a noise here in the last 6 or 7 minutes. The first 2 or 3, they were a little better organized than they are right now. Decision down on the boards on the far side, can't hang on. The Sioux still controls. Zappernick has it. It's both checked away from Zappernick. Comes back up along the boards. Hulk pushes it down into the far corner. And we got an icing call against the Wildcats to bring it back the long way for the face-off as the Wildcats and the Sioux both change lines.
The first day when all the teams are practicing on Wednesday after most of the teams arrived Tuesday night. I know North Dakota came in on that charter flight. Northern Michigan arrived also on late Tuesday night. There was actual holes all the way down to the cement in certain parts of the ice that had to be fixed before the Thursday night opening game.
Frank Berggraf on the face-off. Sioux control. That was Knightsky, or rather Sykes, trying to get a stick on it. Couldn't do so as he goes down along with Koskov behind the cage. The puck is frozen. We'll have a face-off. Koskov, number 26, and Phil Sykes, 25. Sykes scored a pair of goals in that opening win over Dartmouth. On the second goal, he lost his balance, crashed into the crossbar, and bruised that right shoulder. Nothing serious, however. And we'll face it off once again. Frank Burgraff, the sophomore out of Roseau, Minnesota. Taskoff trying to pick it off for the Wildcats. Brings a board pass up on the left-hand side. They get it to center ice. It's too long. Brad Cox will keep it back in there for North Dakota. Sykes pushes it down to the corner. Burgraff trying to chase it down. Kyle gets there first. Smale, good check, takes a Wildcat into the boards. There's a shot off the point. Loose puck out in front after the save by Weeks, but Taskoff is there to clear it away. No damage done. Back to center ice. Again, the Wildcats having trouble getting that rush organized. The Sioux really putting the pressure on defensively. Travis Dunn tracks it down for the Sioux. Backhanded pass for Brad Cox up to center ice. Too long for Erwin Martins. Comes over on the right-hand side. Ekela can't hang on to it. He gives it to Kyle. Kyle shoots it down to the corner, and Dusty Carroll will pick it up for North Dakota. Gives behind the cage to Cox. He's ridden off the plate. Dusty Carroll can't hang on to it. Comes out in the far corner on the Wildcats, trying to get something going here, trailing 2-0. Control it for the moment. Backhanded pass picked up by North Dakota, and the Sioux will ice it. Sioux wanted a line change, wanted a whistle, and that's what they got at the 3:21 mark. First period, North Dakota 2, Northern Michigan nothing. As we see a little break here for Weeks, a little freshener, and as we mentioned before, the players have complained about the dry atmosphere, and a lot of the players sipping water on the sidelines to keep that mouth from getting dry.
Doug Smale almost had his hat trick on that deflection.
There you see the, excuse me for interrupting, we'll get another look at that group in a minute. That's the group known as the Farce from North Dakota, with the referee shirts on and the hats with the revolving red disc on top. As Ludwig goes down to make the save, appeared for a minute like he might be shaken, but he's okay. There's the Farce. They have been a fixture at UND home games this entire season, and they're very much a part of the action, as you will see. There's the face-off. To the right of the Sioux cage, and we got a little altercation there with Joyce, number 20. I believe they're both going to go up.
Referee John Ritchie's just going to send him right out.
It's Joyce, number 20, picking up his first penalty in the playoffs. He had gone through the entire playoffs without a penalty at this point. So he and Chadwick. You heard the official there. Chadwick of North Dakota. There you heard it, Chadwick and Joyce for slashing, and that creaking noise you hear is the penalty door slamming shut, and that's happened quite frequently when these two teams get together. As the Sioux control the face-off, and again, both teams a man short. Sioux scored last time in this situation. Each team a man short. They push it down in the corner. Tom Smale in a rush for it, and Weeks goes down and will freeze the puck.
The injury that was the North Dakota player is to Mark Taylor, and he has a shoulder injury, and he's a little groggy right now, so they don't know if he will be able to reappear in the game later on.
Okay, Mark Taylor, the Sioux All-American with a shoulder injury. They called for a doctor earlier. We speculated it might be Carroll. It was, in fact, Mark Taylor, and his status right now is doubtful. And that's certainly a big factor at this point. As Chorney tries to get a stick on it in center ice, picked off by Laidlaw. Laidlaw carries it and has a man to beat, gets the backhander away, and it goes high into the crowd and off the stick of Mark Chorney. Mark Taylor, the Sioux All-American. As we see Smale in a discussion with Mike Melke.
Yeah, Mark Taylor has a possible broken clavicle, and so they're going to be doing some more examinations on him. So a good possibility he will not return for the entire game.
So North Dakota's leading scorer and All-American, and the second leading scorer in the nation, Mark Taylor, sidelined right now. And if it is in fact a broken clavicle, we have probably seen the last of Mark Taylor for this evening. We have 2:41 to go, first period. North Dakota with a 2-0 lead. Each team skating a man short for the next minute and 30 seconds. Face-off coming in the Wildcat attack zones with goalie Darren Jensen's left side. There's a quick shot off the face-off by Bozak. Save made by Jensen. Puck behind the net picked up by Vulcan. Centering pass for Smale. Stops it with his skate. Gets it to center ice. Couldn't get it to Burgraff. The Wildcats push it in, and again, they're offside. Coach John Gino Gasparini of North Dakota prides himself on the defense his hockey teams play, and North Dakota giving a very good exhibition of that tonight. They've really kept the Wildcats off balance. The Wildcats have not had a really good rush to speak of, Tony, in the last 10 minutes of play. Both teams a man short. Check at center ice, sends Fisher down. Fisher gets back up, picks up, he may get a shot away, and we've got an offside once again.
Fisher was almost caught the lone man back on that particular play. He was able to recover, but lost control of the puck at the blue line, and Stephen Bozek had already crossed, and so we're going to have another face-off just outside the blue line. Stephen Bozek and Steve Weeks are two of Northern Michigan's players that have made the all-CCHA academic team. They're also 3.9 students as well as good hockey players.
Vulcan controls the face-off for North Dakota. Mickey Vulcan, a very highly recruited freshman for UND, goes cross ice with it to Walker. Walker tried to get Smale cutting in on the right wing side, and Smale was just a step offside. So we'll bring it back for another face-off with 2:07 to play in the first period. NCAA Collegiate Hockey, live from the Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island. Boyd Christensen along with Tony Tollefson, Sports Information Office at Northern Michigan University. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. Thanks to Connecticut Public Television for their assistance in this telecast. We'll talk more about that later. It was quite an endeavor the last 2 or 3 days to get this thing on the boards, and we hope you're enjoying the coverage as Walker comes in on the right-hand side. Tries to center it out in front to Sykes. It's too wide. Front shot by Smale as he turns very quickly is ridden down by Bozek. The shot is wide. Comes out in front to Walker. Walker tries to get it to Smale. The play broken up. Loose puck. Smale can't get his stick on it as Laidlaw wins the foot race. Pushes it up to center ice to Tignanelli. Tried to get it back to Laidlaw. And the Sioux break up the play once again, keeping the Wildcats off balance. The Sioux shoot it down into the corner. The Wildcats will regroup as the Sioux change on the fly. Sioux are just about caught changing lines right there as Kyle comes in. Pass is too long for Kyle. Sioux come back. They've got a 2-on-1 right now, but the pass is wide off the stick of Myers. Goes behind the net. Kyle goes down. Puck picked up by the Wildcats. They control it now. Hansen, number 24, brings it to center ice. Down into the corner under the stick of Mark Chorney, number 16. Chorney trying to evade the check into the boards. Can't get to it in time, and Zapernick is there to retrieve it for the Sioux. Sioux put it up into center ice with 1 minute to play in period 1. Sioux hanging on to a 2-0 lead here as Joyce, the leading scorer in the nation, comes back. Fine centering pass. Good save by Jensen. Good centering pass to Pyle that time from Joyce. But Jensen was there. Sioux again push it up into center ice. We got a penalty coming up, a delay call.
Bill Joyce picking up his second penalty of the contest. It's going to be high sticking, so once again, North Dakota will be having a power play opportunity.
So the nation's leading scorer, Bill Joyce, goes into the penalty box. Through all the playoff games, he had not picked up any penalty minutes at all. He's had 2 here in the first period. He's got 34 penalty minutes on the season and 38 with the 4 additional minutes tonight. So the Sioux have a power play opportunity here with 44 seconds remaining in the first period of play. Sioux leading 2-0. Not to belabor the point, we will repeat it. If you're looking for Mark Taylor, the word is that Taylor may have suffered a broken clavicle, and if that is the situation, we will probably not see Mark Taylor for the remainder of this contest tonight. They wave Pyle and Zapernick out of there, and Sykes and Houck come into the faceoff, controlled by Howard Walker. Sioux trying to get that power play organized. Mark Chorney can't find the puck. There it is. Sioux break it out now. Phil Sykes coming in on the left wing side along the boards. Gets away from the check. Chases the puck behind the cage. Looking for the centering pass. Comes out on the point to Walker. Walker takes a shot. It's wide to the right side. Chorney keeps it in on the right point. Down into the corner. Sykes goes after it for North Dakota. Zapernick is there as well. Sioux with a power play. 11 seconds to go in this period. They lead 2-0. Out in front, Chorney slap shot. Knocked down by Zapernick. Hitting right in the back.
We had Phil Sykes in the goal crease, so the puck will be brought out beyond the blue line and another face-off.
4 seconds to play, first period. We're going to take a break and send you back to your local stations between periods, and that'll be coming up in about 4 seconds' time. We'll recap the scoring for you and then send it back to your local stations, and then we'll rejoin you for the start of period 2 in approximately 15 minutes from that time. Zapernick in the face-off at center ice for North Dakota going against Pyle. Sioux with the power play. They'll have it to start the second period as well. Quick shot of the face-off by Chorney. Easy save for Weeks. Horn sounds. And after 1 period of play, on a pair of goals by Tom Smale, the North Dakota Sioux 2 and the Wildcats of Northern Michigan 0. in that scoring in the first period. Tony, give us a recap on that once again.
Okay, it was Doug Smale scoring his first goal at 19:43 of the first period. That coming as a result of a power play with Mike Milkey sitting out for roughing. Getting the assists were Mark Taylor and Phil Sykes. Smale scored once again at the 12:48 mark. This time it was Phil Sykes. Travis Dunn on the assist as the Fighting Sioux have taken a 2-0 first period lead. Penalties were even as both teams were assessed 4 in the first period, although Bill Joyce will still be sitting out during the start of the second period. A minute and 16 seconds will remain on his penalty.
Okay, thank you, Tony Tollefson. So the big news in the first period is North Dakota has a 2-0 lead. They completely outplayed the Northern Michigan Wildcats in the last 12 minutes of that period, kept them off balance, and the Wildcats not able to mount much of an attack at all. And of course, the other big news in that first period of play, the possible broken clavicle suffered by the Sioux's All-American Mark Taylor, and we've possibly seen the last of Mark Taylor for tonight. So, after one period of play from the Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island, it's North Dakota 2, Northern Michigan nothing. We'll send you back to our local stations down the line right now, and we'll be back in 15 minutes.
For me to come on the air, but to help pay for programs that you watch. This is where you saw UND hockey all year long, and during the course of this break, I'll tell you what it took to get this championship game into your home. Right now, what we're asking is that you call and help us pay for it, because we're really out on a limb with this. We're doing this for you. This is not a network feed. This is programming that's picked up exclusively for us, and it's an expensive process. We've got 20 phones sitting here waiting for you to call. The number is 701-293-3231, and we need your support. We need your dollars. We provided NCAA hockey finals for you last year. We've been providing Sioux home hockey games for you all year long, and now you've got the finals. Many, many people called and asked if public television was going to do it. They called public television because they knew they could count on us. Well, we came through for you. Now you come through for us. That number, 701-293-3231. Dial direct and pledge $100. Pledge $60, pay it off $5 a month. Pledge $120, pay it off $10 a month. But call in and make the pledge. There's no question about it. This was an expensive process. This is probably the single most expensive program that public television, Prairie Public Television, has ever put on the air. If you're enjoying it, if this is something that you waited for all year, if you've come to rely on public television for this, and a lot of you did because we've been getting calls for months, are you going to carry the NCAA finals? Then call in and pledge. We're non-profit, we're non-commercial. We can't go out and sell this to somebody and say, hey, this is brought to you by your friendly neighborhood, whoever. It has to be paid for by you folks. Remember, we're non-profit and non-commercial. If you itemize your contributions to public television, it's tax deductible. But most of all, what would it take for you to get out and see this game anywhere? We're not picking this up from a network feed. We had to go out and arrange for the feed in Providence, Rhode Island. We've been trying for a month and a half to get this game, and we didn't know we had it for sure until Thursday noon, 2 days ago. We've been working with them. We contracted with an organization in Hartford, Connecticut to go to Providence, Rhode Island and pick up the game for us, a mobile unit. They're there.
In Saskatchewan. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of NCAA Championship hockey as the puck is dropped to start our second period of play, and North Dakota controls it. Let's see if the Wildcats can get on track here in period 2 as they trail 2-0. Mark Chorney brings it back up ice. Centering pass is too long for Zappernick, and the Wildcats shoot it back down in the corner. Walker chases it behind the Sioux cage, has Chorney back there with him. Sioux have now 59 seconds remaining in that power play. Quick pass to Zappernick. He may get a shot away on the left wing side. Centering pass out in front. Backhander. It hits the pipe by Myers. It hit the pipe. Fine backhanded pass by Zappernick. And the Sioux came within inches of goal number 3.
There's still 49 seconds remaining in that penalty to Bill Joyce, and Northern Michigan's going to just have to tighten up a little harder and not create those opportunities. Another excellent opportunity for the Fighting Sioux.
All right, the face-off. 2 weeks left. North Dakota with that man advantage for 45 more seconds. Smale and Laidlaw fighting for it behind the cage. Laidlaw pushes it out in front. The Wildcats try a nice loose puck out in front. Backhanded pass is kicked away. Sioux may have had another shot on goal. Myers trying to center it to Smale. Back in the corner, North Dakota with the power play. 30 seconds remaining. Out on the point, Walker. Walker takes a shot. It's partially blocked. Chorney keeps it in for the Sioux along the boards on the near side. Now to Rick Meyer. Meyer to Smale. Smale is ridden off the play. Sioux still control. 15 seconds to go in the power play. North Dakota with a 2-0 lead, and the Wildcats ice it. And that'll about do it for the power play. 7 seconds remaining as the Wildcats change lines. Sioux come back up ice. 3 seconds to go in the penalties. Zappernick at the red line. Pass on the left wing side. Walker, hard shot. Save. Rebound. Kicked out. Zappernick didn't get it quite high enough. Nice save by Weeks. We come back the other way, and we've got an offside.
Yeah, Bill Joyce was called for coming out of the penalty box, not coming back in his own zone before taking that pass. When a player comes out of the penalty box, unless the play is already ahead of him, he has to come back, circle in his own zone before he is eligible to regain a pass and join into the play.
All right, both teams at full strength. The face-off will come to the left of the Wildcat goalie, Steve Weeks. North Dakota with a 2-0 lead. Both teams at full strength. Dusty Carroll facing it off against Steve Bozek. Puck into the corner. Chadwick trying to get there. And it's frozen against the boards. We'll have a face-off. As Smale and Eric Ponath, I believe, number 15, having a difference of opinion.
Brad Cox had a real tough shot from the right point. I don't think Steve Weeks really saw the shot, and they hit him on the right elbow and deflected off into the corner, but I think it came right through the crowd, and Weeks never really saw the shot.
All right, face-off coming to Weeks right. We're just into our second period. No scoring so far. North Dakota maintains that 2-0 lead. Wildcats have not really had a good scoring opportunity in quite some time. Wildcats trying to clear it. They've had difficulty clearing in their own zone tonight. Now the puck comes to center ice. Wildcats on the attack. Bozek has a poke checked away by Brad Cox. Cox, a lead pass for Dusty Carroll. Carroll going down into the corner. Trying to get a centering pass out in front. Here it comes wide to the right side, and the shot by Chadwick. Sioux keep it in. As Berrigan trips and falls to the ice. Martins tries to scoop up the loose puck. He's ridden off the play by Berrigan. It's frozen against the boards. We'll have a face-off as once again we've got altercations going on 2 locations on the ice.
We could have a knockdown, drag-him-out fight before this game gets over with. Both teams met earlier in the season, January 4th and 5th in Marquette, and they had a rough series in one of the games there. A lot of penalties, and once again we're picking up a lot. In the first penalty alone, there was 8 penalties assessed between the two teams, and we could be picking up again. We've only played 2 minutes and 7 seconds, and they're already going at each other.
All right, the face-off once again in the Sioux attack zone. Comes back, quick shot by White, knocked down. White retains possession. Slap shot out on the point by Walker is knocked down by the defense. Puck comes up to center ice as John Kyle made that last save. Sioux still control it. They get it over to Knightsky in the right wing spot. He's ridden off the play. Picked up by Carroll. Carroll out in front for Berggraf. Couldn't get a stick down on it. Puck pushed along the boards by goalie Steve Weeks. Joyce picks it up. Comes back behind the cage with it to John Kyle. Sioux keep it in. Here's a whisper by Vulcan. Stick save. Rebound try. That's wide of the mark, and it's finally pushed off to the far side. We've got a delay penalty coming up as the Sioux keep the pressure on the Wildcats, and there's a fight breaking out on the far side as Vulcan is pushed to the ice by Fisher. Or rather, make that Keith Hansen, number 24. Hansen being restrained right now to the right of your screen.
Bad play on Keith Hansen's part for the Northern Michigan Hockey Wildcats as North Dakota was already going to be called for a penalty. It looked as though John Kyle had been slashed either in the face or up in his upper part of his body. Penalty was going to be assessed to North Dakota, and then Hansen decided to retaliate after the play, and it'll appear as though both teams will be having players sitting out now.
Hansen didn't want to go to the penalty box. He's in there now. 72 minutes in penalties assessed to Hansen to this point of the season. He picked up 2 more now for 74. conversation down in front of that penalty box. So Hansen is out. And Berggraf also whistled out at 17-15.
They're both from northern Minnesota lads. Keith Hansen from Bemidji, Minnesota, Berggraf from Roseau, so maybe they've seen each other in the past and wanted to square up a few differences too.
Okay, so both teams against getting a man short here at 17-15. Period 2, North Dakota 2 and Northern Michigan no score. No scoring in this second period of play.
2 minutes for high sticking. North Dakota, number 14. Berggraf. 2 minutes for slashing.
High sticking on Larson, or rather Hansen, and slashing on Berggraf. Each team a man short. As the Wildcats trying to break it out, get something going. Waddell comes into the attack zone, being shadowed by Howard Walker, number 3. Puck behind the cage. Joyce put a hard check on Vulcan that time. Here come the Sioux on the attack. Each team a man short. Fine stick hand, and the Sioux get it into the attack zone. That's Doug Smale. Smale tries to get it on the far side to Sykes. Sykes is centering pass. Smale the backhander, and he's got the hat trick. Doug Smale's third goal of the night. Give the assist to Bill Sykes, number 25, as the Sioux break on top, 3-0. Take another look at it. There's Smale with the puck right now. Watch this move. Now Sykes comes in, picks it up right here. Gets it back to Smale. Nice move, Doug Smale. Yeah. Tiptoeing into the air for his third goal of the night. That first line in the opening game against Dartmouth, and Coach Gino Gasparini verified that for us today, did not play extremely well against Dartmouth. And tonight, Doug Smale breaking out of a 2-game slump, if you could call it that, and scoring the hat trick here. 16:42 to play. Second period, and Doug Smale picks up his third goal of the night, his 42nd of the year. Probably some of you Doug Smale fans watching this tonight in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Doug Smale with all 3 North Dakota goals as the Sioux build a 3-0 lead. On the face-off, the Wildcats trying to get something going. Ludwig trying to break up the action down there with Walt Kyle, and Ludwig comes away with it. Pass up at center ice, the Wildcats knock it down. Rick Myers trying to get a stick on it. Gets it back into center ice, regains control. Sioux with a 3-0 lead. Skating extremely well here through the first period and this part of the second. Zapernick shot kicked away by Weeks. Skate save, back out to the point. Ludwig slap shot, gloved by Weeks, and we'll have a face-off.
It's interesting to note that wondering how much of an effect it is on Steve Weeks right now. He had a reoccurrence of his hamstring pull last night, and we're going to see a replay on that save right there. He is able to come up with the glove save, but Weeks has limited movement with his right leg, as he did pull his hamstring 2 weeks ago against Ferris State, and they do have him wrapped up heavily for tonight's game.
On the face-off, centering pass comes out in front. Meyer couldn't get a stick on it. It came off the stick of Brad Cox, centering pass. Wildcats come back into the attack zone. Ridden off the play is Ponath. Sioux pick it up. Travis Dunn shoots it along the boards, looking on the far side for Zapernick, and he's sandwiched between 2 Wildcat defenders, and now Cox will come away with it. Cox can't hang on, pushed back in, as Cox is, I believe, swung at and hit by Jeff Toskoff, and Toskoff is going to go off.
I think
maybe they're both going off. We'll wait and see. Toskoff, number 26.
I think 4 on the white side. Hook with 26 now on the green elbow.
You heard the call, elbowing. So the Sioux with 2 men in the penalty box, as Brad Cox joins Frank Berggraf. 29 seconds to go, and the penalties to Berggraf and Hansen.
this is just the type of play that Rick Comley has wanted to avoid. He feels that his club is at its best when they're in a 5-on-5 on situations where North Dakota has had its strength really when they're playing with men short.
Well, they're not as much at a disadvantage as some teams are. Here's a shot. It's wide to the right side. Jensen went down, but nobody was there for the rebound. Smale picks it up behind the cage and gives it to Vulcan. Vulcan tries to break it out. There's lots of room on that ice now. They're playing 3 aside. Into the zone is Walker. Walker with a shot. Stick save made by Weeks, and it goes over the glass and out of play. 10 seconds remaining in the penalties to Keith Hansen of Northern Michigan and Frank Berggraf of North Dakota. Dave Weeks. He made 11 saves in the first period. Jensen had 5 for North Dakota. Walker slap shot wide to the right. Vulcan tries to keep it under the point. He can't. Hops over his stick back out to center ice. Vulcan was way down the other end to regroup as Berggraf and Hansen skate out of the penalty box. And now we're playing 4 aside. They're at the 15-minute mark. Here's Bozak making a move to get free across the blue line, but his poke checked away. Wildcats have really been held in check tonight. Laidlaw goes back to pick it up. Smale challenging him for the puck. Comes up to center ice. Taken there by Vulcan. Pushed across the blue line. He takes the shot. Pushes it ahead for Smale. Smale is centering past Vulcan out in front, trying to get it over to Sykes. Sykes couldn't get a stick on it. It was wide of the mark. And the Wildcats pick it up now in control. Each team playing a man short. 14:36 to play. Second period. 1 score in this period by Doug Smale. The Sioux lead 3-0. All 3 goals by Doug Smale. Weak shot out in front by Bozak. Action down in the far corner as Taglianelli tries to get a stick on it, but is taken away by Sykes, and Sykes will bring it back up ice for North Dakota. 14 minutes to play. Fine return pass to Meyer. Meyer goes in. Nice save made by Weeks. Puck knocked down in the corner by Laidlaw. Meyer gets a stick on it, shoots it along the boards. Mickey Vulcan backhands it, tries to get it back to Myers. Coming in to pick it up is Berrigan, and Berrigan tries to break it out of there for the Wildcats. Comes up to center ice. And Sioux once again are going to break up the play. They shoot it back into the corner, and the Sioux have really kept the Wildcats off balance tonight. The Sioux have forced the Wildcats to play their style of hockey. Here's Ludwig, a backhander, trying to center it. Nobody home. Centering pass is wide of the mark, intending it for Sykes. Puck comes back up to center ice. It's taken away from Hauk, and now the Sioux control once again as both teams are at full strength. Stoskov and Cox skate out of the penalty box. Cox back onto the ice. Slides Berrigan off the puck behind the cage, but the Wildcats pick it up. Centering pass, puck pushed up into center ice. Sioux come back the other way with it. Zappernick breaks it up, leaves a pass for Martins. Martins wants the backhander, but Laidlaw. Poke checks it away. Good defensive play by Laidlaw as he's taken under the boards by Chadwick. Back at center ice now. Here come the Wildcats breaking it out of there into the attack zone. Ridden off the play in the far corner for the Wildcats was Dennis Flanagan, and the Sioux come right back the other way. Sioux getting a nice rush going here. Shot is save made by Weeks as Chadwick goes into the boards hard, and you see Chadwick, number 21. And I believe that's Hansen again, number 24. I would guess Keith Hansen at 6'5", 210 is kind of the policeman for the Wildcat team. Is that right, Tony?
Yeah, he's one of the policemen. Also, Tom Laidlaw, senior, at 6'2", 210 is solid. Both of them are the big players. Hansen is trailing Tom Laidlaw in penalties. Laidlaw has over 400 minutes in career penalties and is going to be sorely missed by the Wildcats next year.
All right, 13 minutes to go. Sioux lead at 3-0 here in the second period on the faceoff. The Wildcats control. They've really looking to get something going here in this period. Shot wide to the right, Mark Chorney. Number 16 picks up for North Dakota, being chased by Joyce. Poke checked away. The Wildcats control it. The Wildcats have really been held in check here tonight. Centering pass is too long. It's been that kind of night for the Wildcats. Comes all the way down the other way. The race for it. Taskov is there. Picks it up for the Wildcats. Puts it up at center ice. And it's again too long. Nobody there for the Wildcats, and Mark Chorney will track it down behind the Sioux cage. North Dakota 3. Loose puck out in front. Look out. Wildcats couldn't get a stick on it. Slap shot from the blue line is knocked down by the defense out in front. Goes wide to the right. Dusty Carroll, number 9, picks it up. Centering pass for Erwin Martins. Martins comes back looking for some help as his wings get in there now. Martins' shot is knocked down by the defender Berrigan out in front. Loose puck comes back up into center ice. Long lead pass intending it for Kyle. Save made by Jensen, and Kyle couldn't quite get to it. As both teams change lines, we await the face-off at center ice.
We're already at 12:05 remaining in the second period, and the Wildcats are just now starting to show some offensive signs here in the second period. As most of the play, latter part of the first and all of this second period, been controlled by North Dakota.
Face-off in the Wildcat attack zone. To the right of goalie Darren Jensen. Sioux control it. Knightsky with a rink-wide pass for White. Knocked away. Jensen makes a save out in front and freezes the puck. Good play by the freshman goalie. That's about the toughest chance Jensen's been called on to make tonight.
Well, it's this line of Jeff Pyle with the wingers of Dave Ikola and Walt Kyle that had the most success against North Dakota in Marquette earlier, and they're proving it again tonight.
Okay, Pyle on the faceoff against Berggraf. Pyle, number 8. Waiting the drop of the puck. Sioux control it. Brad Cox on the left-hand side. Lead pass up the center. Listen to Sioux try and break it out of there, but Laidlaw comes in to knock it away. Once again, it's pushed up into center ice. And again, the Wildcats are there. Ichaluk and Proles off the stick of Kyle into the Wildcat attack zone. Knightsky ridden off the play on the far side, and it's kept in on the point by the Wildcat. Shot is knocked down by Bergerath and back up to center ice. Nice play, Frank Bergerath. Threw his body in front of that slap shot off the point. Again pushed into the Wildcat attack zone, and again the Sioux come away with it. Bergerath breaking out on the right wing side. Stop, takes the shot on the point. Stick save made by Weeks. Pushed off into the corner. Chasing it down is Knightsky. Pinned there by Laidlaw. Coming in to pick it up his pile. Now they both backed off, and Knightsky comes away out on the point to Cox. Cox is going to have the slap shot. Stick save. Loose puck out in front, and it's frozen by Weeks. It will have the face-off. Weeks has made some fine saves tonight. Fine goalie. He kicked away 49 shots earlier this year when Northern Michigan beat North Dakota 4-2.
Steve Weeks has been selected to play in the first East-West Senior All-Star game. Other players from the Northern Michigan squad that will represent that West squad are Bill Joyce, the right winger, and Tom Laidlaw on defense.
And there's the backside of freshman Sioux goalie Darren Jensen as we await that face-off in the Sioux attack zone. Rick Zapernick, considered by Sioux fans maybe one of the better draw men. He gets the draw, trying to get it back out to Vulcan. Sykes got a stick on it, and it's both checked away by the Wildcats. Tagnanelli up into center ice. Vulcan gets it back, pushes it down. Rather, Sykes gets it back, pushes it along the side far boards. Trying to get a centering pass to Zapernick, but he's double-teamed. Zap comes in, picks it up, puts it onto the left wing side. Dusty Carroll's shot's no good. Rebound out in front is swept away by the Wildcat defender. A shot off the point by Vulcan is wide. Dusty Carroll keeps it in, pushes it down to the corner. Sykes waiting for it, trying to get it behind him, and he does. He looked for the centering pass. Here it comes, and the Wildcats are able to break it up. Wildcats go out on a 2-on-2 break. Konath across the line. The freshman looking for the shot, being ridden off the play by Vulcan, and does not get the shot away. Puck along the boards on the far side. We got a face-off. 10:24 to go. Period 2 as the Sioux change lines. Doug Smale with 3 goals tonight, and the Sioux lead by that margin, 3-0. Mark Taylor suffered a broken clavicle on the left side in the first period of play, about 10 minutes into the period, and is through for the night. I don't know if we mentioned top of the show, Taylor has been drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers, and well, you won't see Mark Taylor on college ice again, as this is his senior year. He'll be playing in the National Hockey League, probably with the Philadelphia Flyers next season. Face-off. Waddell gets the draw, but the puck goes to Chadwick. Chadwick trying to get it away from Joyce. Joyce poke checks it away, centers it for Waddell. Weak shot, had nothing on it, and some trouble there for Darren Jensen, but he freezes it in the crease, and will have the face-off once again in the Wildcat attack zone as the Wildcats seem to be coming back just a little bit. They're putting some pressure on Tony.
Northern Michigan is making their first appearance ever in an NCAA hockey championships. You know, this is only year 4 for the Wildcats, and they were really tight last night. It appears as though they're tight again tonight. They're starting to loosen up, maybe with being down 3-0. They're just going to let it all hang out, and they do their best for the next 30 minutes that remain in regulation time.
All right, awaiting that face-off is they're jockeying for position on the far side. Now we're set to go. 10:14 to play in this period. Waddell and Carroll facing off. Draw goes to Ludwig for North Dakota. Lead pass comes up for Carroll. Just a little bit too long, or he may have been a breakaway. Race into the corner. Fisher and Carroll go to the boards hard. Puck comes away. Chadwick. Chadwick tries to head behind the cage with it. Can't do so, and it's frozen against the boards for another face-off.
Boy, I got to tell you that not only are the players having a little trouble adjusting to their first NCAA tournament, the fans from Northern Michigan have too, because they've been kind of outdone in some of the bars where the Wisconsins in the past and North Dakotas that are used to be these tournaments bring banners, buttons, the whole bit, spread them around in the bars and anywhere that fans gather, and it's one of the hot trading items during the tournament.
On the face-off, Laidlaw, number 2 for the Wildcats. To Waddell. Waddell gets it up to center ice, and there to cut it off is Ludwig for North Dakota. Pushes it back on the left wing side. Sioux try and get organized now. Back to Ludwig. They're making their charge in the wrong direction. Board pass too long for Chorney. Waddell comes in, tries to get the shot away, fans on it. Decision couldn't get a stick on it for North Dakota. Now Zappernick comes away with it. Zappernick on the right wing side, Myers. Return pass to Zappernick. He's ridden off the play. Myers centers it up out in front. Nobody there. Swept away by Milky. Milky can't hang on. Decision tries to shoot it down into the corner. And we have a whistle and a penalty coming up on North Dakota. There you see
This will be Northern Michigan's third power play opportunity of the game.
Okay, here's the call. It's going to be against Myers, and there's going to be an interference call. Roughing's the call on Rick Myers. Myers with 16 minutes and penalties coming into this final game of the season tonight. 2 minutes for roughing. So we'll get another look at the Wildcat power play. Wildcats had 2 power play opportunities early in the first period, and of course didn't capitalize on either try, as North Dakota, one of the better teams in the country, is skating off penalties. They leave Ncaa scored goals. Doug Smale has scored 8 shorthanded goals this season. That's tops in the country. The time of the penalty is 9:14. Wildcats with their power play, getting it set up now. Getting into position, comes out on the point. Laidlaw has a poke checked away. There we're talking about Smale. He's got a takeaway. Is it going to be goal number 4? No, it's not. It's wide to the left. Smale showing why he leads the nation in shorthanded goals. Smale challenging Waddell for the puck. Rides Waddell into the boards hard. Wildcats control it. Laidlaw is cut down by a hard body check thrown by Sykes. Wildcats get into the attack zone. Joyce down to the corner. He can't retain possession as Chorney rides him off the play. Now Pyle tries to get control. Puts it out on the point on the right-hand side. Trying to set up, looking for the open man. Laidlaw. Joyce back to Laidlaw. 1:06 to go on the power play. Laidlaw fakes the slap shot. Joyce, nice centering pass, tried to work the give and go. They broke it up. Joyce tries to stuff it, and the puck is frozen in the crease, and the save made by Jensen. Nice move by Joyce on the give and go, but I think it was Chorney just got a piece of the puck, just enough to slide it aside, or Joyce may have had the easy goal on the give and go. Nice play, but North Dakota's defense once again keeping the Wildcats just off stride.
Doug Smale was very impressive in his breakaway, hitting the post on his shot on Steve Weeks. It could have been 4-0 in the 4th goal for Doug Smale. Smale has 8 shorthanded goals on the year. 8
on the year, Tony. That's the voice of Tony Tollefson in the Sports Information Office, University of Northern Michigan. Chorney gets the face-off and shoots it over into the Michigan bench. Out of play. 53 seconds remaining in the penalty to Rick Myers. North Dakota with a 3-0 lead. Doug Smale, 2 goals the first period. He added another in this period. Out to the point on the face-off, Laidlaw, back to Joyce, to Laidlaw. Wildcats have to get something going. Laidlaw is going to take the slap shot, and it comes off the glass like a mashed potato and just died behind the cage, and the Sioux pick it up. Chadwick, center ice. This is Martins, number 17, looking for the pass back to Chadwick. Chadwick's shot is wide. Wildcats come back with it now. They have 28 seconds remaining in the power play. Nice break made by Bosick. He's going to get the shot, and Jensen makes the pad save. Nice move by the freshman. Loose puck over in the corner, going to be frozen. We've got a face-off. As Jensen is called on to make his toughest save of the night, and a nice move by Bosick, who is as quick a skater as there is on the ice tonight.
Stephen Bosick showed right there why.
Here as it comes up again on the replay.
Bosick shows why he's going to be one of the toughest top draft choice. This year in the NHL draft. There, Jensen coming up with that pad save, kicking it away. Bosick, it's been expected by some people that he will go in the first round of this year's draft.
Fine skater, and Jensen coming up with a save. Jensen, an unbeaten goalie. He started 13 times this season. He's 12-0-1. They haven't beaten him yet. He has a 3-0 lead here as the Sioux try and skate this penalty off. Another pad save and a slap shot from the blue line. Puck goes over into the corner, going to be frozen for the face-off. As again, Jensen comes up with a save. Travis Dunn, number 20, into the boards with Dave Ickelin, number 23, and we have the face-off with 9 seconds remaining in the Wildcat power play. The North Dakota Sioux right now dominating the Northern Michigan Wildcats, who have come up empty here with 7:28 to play in period 2. Smale on the faceoff gets it not quite into neutral ice. It stopped at the blue line, kept in, but the power play now ended. The Sioux are back at full strength, and standing on the slap shot try on the far side was Laidlaw up in the center ice, and they have to get back onside. Kyle pushes it down behind the cage. Travis Dunn moves it along the boards, and an icing call, I believe, coming up, or was it? Yeah, it was not touched. Icing call against North Dakota as the Sioux will change lines. They bring it back the long way for the face-off here at 7:05. Second period, both teams at full strength.
Of the 5 losses that Northern Michigan has had this year, it's been a total of 7 goals that they've been in the defeats. They've had 3 one-goal losses, 2 two-goal losses, both of them 7-5 scores. And of the 5 losses, only 1 has come on a Saturday night, that being the final game of the regular season against Western Michigan.
7:05 on the face-off. A slap shot knocked down. That was taken by Ikola. Knocked down by the defense out in front. Vulcan, a board pass behind him, gets it up ahead to Carroll. Rather to White. White in a foot race with Berrigan behind the cage. White goes down. Berggraf trying to get a stick on it, looking for the centering pass at Knightsky out in front, but he's ridden off the play. We're going to get a penalty coming up against the Wildcats. Going to be an elbow call, or is it an elbow thrown by North Dakota?
Terry Houck going out for elbowing, and North Dakota will have their 3rd power play opportunity. They're 1 of 2 so far in the contest.
So Houck whistled off at 6:45 on the elbowing call. The Sioux have that power play opportunity with a 3-0 lead.
Number 7, Terry Houck.
The Wildcats just having trouble getting on track tonight. Although they have come to life a bit in this trade and have put Darren Jensen to the test on 3 occasions. Chorney controls the face-off to Smale. Down in the corner, North Dakota trying to set it up. That's Zapernick going behind the cage, trying to get it out in front of Smale. Zapernick takes the shot. Pad save made by Weeks. Waddell gets it out of there, out of the point. A slap shot taken again by North Dakota's Walker. Stick save made. Chorney keeps it in down in the corner. North Dakota really putting the pressure on Weeks. That's Chorney. Whistles another one in. That's wide to the right side. North Dakota still retains possession. Myers has it to Smale. Back out on the point. It goes to Chorney. Fakes the slap shot. Moves to his left. Gives a pass back to Myers. Back to Chorney. Chorney just about lost it out there to Pyle. Just to the left of the cage. It's out in front, and the Wildcats knock it down and ice it away. 1:15 remaining in the penalty. There's Chorney. Will set it up for the North Dakota Fighting Sioux. 1:07 in the power play as Rick Zapernick comes to center ice. Fine skater and stick handler. Gets it on the right wing side to Smale. Couldn't get the return pass back to Zapernick as Laidlaw comes in to break it up for the Wildcats. Out on the point on the far side, Walker. Sioux playing keep away. Smale tries to track it down behind the cage, tries to check Laidlaw off the play, can't do so. Smale is double teamed. Puck behind the cage. Waddell has it, tries to ice it along the boards, but Myers keeps it in for North Dakota. Myers to Smale. Smale looking out, and rather Zapernick looking out in front, and it's frozen in the crease by Weeks, and the face-off will come to the left of that Wildcat cage with 35 seconds remaining in the penalty.
Northern Michigan has had to make some adjustments killing this penalty. Terry Houck is the usual partner along with Jeff Pyle in killing penalties. So they started off teaming Stephen Bozek along with Jeff Pyle. Bozek went off on the fly and came out with Mike Milkey. Pyle's gone off. They're going to make some other adjustments, getting a regular pair together.
The Berggraf line in. Frank Berggraf, number 14. Glenn White, number 10. And Mike Knightsky, number 23. Sioux have 29 seconds to go on the power play. Vulcan's going to get it on the right point. Gets the slap shot away. Knocked down out in front. Berggraf couldn't get a stick on it, and Weeks makes the save out in front. It really had the pressure on Steve Weeks.
This is a typical game for Steve Weeks. He's been by far the savior for Northern Michigan. They call him the franchise because there's many games this year, particularly following the North Dakota series, where Northern Michigan was still winning games but getting outshot in every contest.
Vulcan out on that right point. Gives it on that side to Sykes. Sykes. Berggraf backhander to Vulcan on the point. 12 seconds in the power play. Berggraf fakes the slap shot, takes it back up to the point to set it up. Looking to pass down to the corner. Wildcats try and clear, and they do. They pick it up. We got a whistle and a penalty coming up on Berggraf for elbowing. So 2 seconds remaining in the penalty to Houck of the Wildcats, and Berggraf is whistled off for the second time tonight. Burgraff had 30 minutes of penalties.
Go on the white side 14 elbow.
That's the call, the elbowing on Burgraff, his second penalty of the night. He had 30 penalty minutes coming into this final game of the season. So in 2 seconds, the Wildcats will be at full strength and will again have a chance for the power play, and they're going to have to get something going here pretty soon, Tony.
This will be Northern Michigan's fourth power play opportunity following the return of Terry Houck to the ice.
Zappernick and Pyle on the face-off. Pushed into the corner of the left wing Wildcat cage, and Hansen went down hard. Really caught his skate on the boards.
Penalty for Northern Michigan, number 12.
Mike Milkey was also assessed a penalty, so there will be no power play opportunity.
All right, a double penalty whistled, so both teams skating a man short. Burgraff for elbowing.
15-14.
And Milkey also whistled in the at the same time. 1:55 remaining in those two penalties. Each team again skating a man short as the Wildcats get it to center ice. Looking for their first goal of the night. They've been shut out here. Joyce trying to stick handle it into the attack zone. And the Sioux come away with it. Mickey Vulcan, the freshman, on the attack. On the left wing side to Meyer. Meyer tries to get it to Zappernick, breaking toward the net. Meyer takes the shot. Pad save made by Weeks, and the Wildcats come away with it. Time running out here in the second period. Just over 4 minutes to play as Kaskov takes it across the blue line, goes down to the corner, being shadowed by Howard Walker. Gets behind the cage, and Walker rides him off the play. Puck comes up on the board on that side. Myers has it. Myers has it poke checked away. They're battling for it, and no standoff as the puck comes free, and it's behind the cage now, and Vulcan has it for North Dakota. Each team a man short for the next minute and 9 seconds. North Dakota 3, Northern Michigan, no score. Comes Rick Myers, makes a move, gets around Joyce, loses the puck, ridden off the play by Hansen, down to the corner of Koskov, and Zappernick scrambled for it, and it's frozen against the boards. Another face-off coming up. Doug Smale with a hat trick tonight. Coming into the contest, he had 39 goals. It gives him 42 for the season. 44 assists for a total of 86 points. Taylor will finish the season with Taylor with a total of 92 points. He's finished with that broken clavicle suffered in the first period. The Wildcats push it down to the corner, and Craig Ludwig is after it. Takes a check from Kyle. They double team him and ride him off the play, but the Sioux come away with the puck. Dean Decision. Drops the pass for Sykes. Sykes can't hang on to it. The Wildcats pick it up. Moving it out of there is Craig Winter. Winter gives to Fisher. Fisher, number 3. Into that blue line. Chorney is after it. Chorney finally poke checks it away. Chorney, a board pass coming up on the near side for Decision. Decision is checked off the play. Loose puck out in front, but Chorney is there to take it away from Walt Kyle. Up into center ice, and once again the Wildcats track it down. Fisher. Lead pass to Winter. Winter can't get around Ludwig. Ridden off the play, and Chorney comes up with it again for the Sioux. Chorney moves into the neutral zone, throws it down to the corner with the Wildcats track it down. Both teams at full strength here. 2 minutes, 40 seconds to play, second period. North Dakota leading it. 3-0. We got a advancing the puck in the air. Is that the call?
Right.
An offside. Oh.
It was touched by 2 different players, so they'll have a face-off right in the right outside the blue line of North Dakota. Walt Kyle for Northern Michigan, as far as I know, is the first player ever to appear in 2 NCAA championships for 2 different teams. 2 years ago, he was here at Providence playing for Boston College and transferred to Northern Michigan.
Sioux control the face-off. Trying to clear it out of there. Brad Cox, board pass on the far side. Chadwick can't get to it. Wildcats keep it in. Slap shot from the point. Stick save as Jensen goes to his knees to kick it away. Jensen working on a shutout here with 2:15 to go. Second period, and North Dakota trying to get it to center ice. Dusty Carroll pushes it up there. It's picked up by Hansen of the Wildcats. Hansen leaves the pass for Berrigan. Back to Hansen. Down to the final 2 minutes. Stolen by Edwin Martins. Martins goes in. Save is made. Loose puck comes out to the right side. That's cleared away by Tagnanelli. Martins just about getting the break on the left wing side. Collision at center ice, and we're going to have an elbowing call coming up against the Wildcats.
Tagnanelli did a fine job on covering up on that play for Northern Michigan.
We'll listen to the call here.
21, North Dakota with an elbow.
The call is going to be against Chadwick. You heard the call, number 21 elbow. So Chadwick whistled off at 1:49 of the second period. North Dakota 3, Northern Michigan nothing. Championship of college hockey, NCAA Division I. Nation's number 1 and 2 ranked teams, featuring the number 1 and 2 scorers, Joyce and Mark Taylor. Sioux ranked number 1 at the end of the season, and the Wildcats ranked number 2. Milky tries to get a centering pass in there, and it's pushed away by the Sioux. Back at the far end. Wildcat power play, and let's see if they can get something going now. 1:28 to go in this period. Center ice, that's Kyle with it, number 8. Looking for some help. Down in the corner, Joyce is going to try and track it down, but Walker gets there first. Loose puck comes out in front, picked up by Doug Smale. Smale, a backhander for Sykes. Tries to get the return pass to him, knocked down. Looking for the break shot is Pyle. Pyle pans in the shot. And one of those nights for the Wildcats, and the Sioux come away with it. Phil Sykes has it in a foot race with Milky, and Sykes slaps it down into the corner as the Wildcats regroup for that power play with 1 10 remaining in it, the power play. Here they come again. North Dakota has been just superb defensively tonight. Shot thrown into the corner. Jensen pushes it on the far side. The Sioux try and ice it, but it's kept in by Joyce. Out of the point, Laidlaw. Laidlaw along the boards to Joyce. Joyce walks it in, tries to use the give and go, and it's not there this time as the Sioux cut it off. Pyle gives it again to Joyce, number 20. Pass goes right through that zone in front of the net. Back out to the point, Waddell. Trying to get something going here. Pyle behind the cage. Chorney with a fine effort. Whistles it around the boards and down into the far end. So Mark Chorney makes the Wildcats regroup once again with 29 seconds to go on the power play. 3-0, North Dakota. We have 10 seconds remaining in the period. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty. There's Joyce. He hasn't had a real opportunity all night. They've really kept him in check. Had a good centering pass there for Kyle and went under Kyle's stick. They take the slap shot on the point as the buzzer sounds. And after 2 periods of play, North Dakota 3, Northern Michigan no score. All 3 goals, efforts by Doug Smale of North Dakota. Want to recap that scoring for us, Tony. We had a few penalties and only a single goal. Doug Smale of a hat trick.
Right, Douglas Smale scoring his hat trick, getting the hat trick at 3:18 of the second period. It was Phil Sykes, also his 3rd assist of the contest, as he's had a part on every one. Penalties in the second period, 4 were assessed to Northern Michigan, 5 to North Dakota, and Northern Michigan will still be on the power play for another 11 seconds to open the second period.
Got anything on saves yet there, Tony? Non-official tally?
Jensen only had 5 saves in that second period.
Okay, so that gives him a total of 10 for the night.
And Weeks had 19 saves in that second period. So
Weeks,
quite a difference.
Weeks has had 30 saves now through 2 periods of play. Jensen has had 5 in each period for a total of 10, as Weeks was really tested in that second period of play. So Doug Smale with a hat trick. North Dakota with a 3-0 lead over Northern Michigan. And repeat once again that Mark Taylor suffered a broken collarbone midway through that first period of play and is done for the night. We're going to send it back to our local stations once again as we take a break here in Providence, Rhode Island, with a score North Dakota 3 and Northern Michigan 0.
Number got up there, and it was suggested that all I do is stand here and point at the number for this next 15 minutes. But we do need your support. We had some calls, somebody trying to convince you that this really is an expensive process. We don't know how much it's going to cost us, but we estimate that it's going to cost us between $8,000 and $10,000 to complete the coverage of this game. By the time we've paid the people that are picking up the game for us, the charges for the microwave, the charges for parking the truck, and everything else. So what we're asking right now, between periods, with the Sioux leading 3-0, is for you to call and help us pay for this coverage. We really went out of our way to make it possible for this game. We're fans. We've been carrying Sioux hockey during the year, all of the home games. We haven't been asking for pledges during the home games. First game of the season only. Remember that. We asked for support during the Minnesota game, and the rest of the time we didn't pester you hockey fans. We let you sit back and enjoy your games. But now this is extra special. This is the NCAA Finals. It's live from Providence, Rhode Island, and it's live from Providence, Rhode Island because Prairie Public Television acquired the rights for it and made all of the arrangements, so it's coming to you and you're watching it. So call now at 701-293-3231. Actually, if you're in North Dakota, just dial 1-293-3231. Pledge $60, pay it off $5 a month. Pledge $120, pay it off $10 a month. A lot of people have called in with a flat-out $100 builder's pledge. We got a marvelous pledge from the VFW in Jamestown of $1,000. Thank you very much. That's what we really need to make this thing work. This is North Dakota Public Television and the North Dakota Championship Sioux team going after that NCAA final, the championship. So call now. We're delighted we're able to bring it to everybody in North Dakota this way, but we do need your support. That number is 293-3231. Anywhere in North Dakota, just dial 1-293-3231. If you happen to be outside of the state, it's 1-701-293-3231. But remember, in the state, just dial 1-293-3231. The direct dial call costs you, half a buck. You can get in here. We've got 20 operators sitting here waiting to take your call. Maybe a minute. That's all it will take you to call. So it's a 50-cent call. And call in and pledge $25, $60, $100, $120. We'll be reading some names here as we get into this break. We appreciate the support we got on the last break. We don't have many chances to get to you and ask for support in hockey. As I say, we only ask at the beginning of the year and now during these championships. So call in and join these people who have already called and pledge their support so public television can pay for this game is what it amounts to. And John, I just remembered I am smiling. I am happy. I had a call from a fellow who knows me and said, Dennis, you look angry. I'm not angry. I'm delighted. But I'm not a television performer. These lights are bright. Call in, pledge your support now. 293-3231 is the number. That's a Fargo-Moorhead number. Anywhere in North Dakota, just dial 1-293-3231. Remember, this is non-profit, non-commercial public television. The way we get the dollars to pay for these programs is through you. And this program is probably the single most expensive program that public television has ever done. We'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Matt Graham in Devil's Lake, who pledged, Neil Lambert in Fargo, Tom Fitzgerald in Washburn, Dr. Carlson family, comment on the bottom of the sheet, wanted to do this before but always forgets about it. So do I, and so do a lot of people. So this is really a chance for all of you people who wanted to do this during Pledge Week and forgot about it. Maybe it's one more chance for you to take care of it. We get a lot of people that come up at meetings, service clubs, and say, oh, we always plan to do this. We try and make it easy for you right now during these pledge times. We have the operators here. Just call in. It's 293-3231. If you live in North Dakota, you can dial a direct 1-293-3231. $5 a month, $10 a month, $100 builders category. What's it worth to you? This is where you saw hockey all year long, and with your support and encouragement, it was this pledge time last year, when the Sioux were in the finals last year, that prompted us to work together with the University of North Dakota and provide those home games to you. That's what made the decision there, was because there was that much interest in it. Your interest is appreciated here. It helps to reassure us that we did the right thing, but we also need your dollars, your support for this game. There are lots of you watching. If you haven't called in and pledged, please do so now. It is important. We do need your dollars. That's what we're going to use to pay for the many expenses of this game. Gut Stensgaard in Fargo called in. Thank you much. Robert Wirtz in Bismarck. Bob Oyhun in Grafton. Beth and Doc Hill in Bismarck. Chuck Watson in Moorhead, Minnesota. Dr. Lyle Hillman in Rugby, North Dakota. Let's see. Eichholz Masonry in Fargo. Dr. Lance in Fargo. Leland Jellink in Pesek, North Dakota. Bruce Anderson in Fargo, North Dakota. Keep calling in, really. We do need your support. There are lots of operators here. If you don't get through right away, keep calling. That number again, 701-293-3231. Anywhere in the state outside of the Fargo-Moorhead area, just 293-3231. This is Prairie Public Television, North Dakota's public television service in the surrounding area. We'd like to thank, let's see, Nick, Ruth, Chuck, Marion, Ken, Phyllis, Bonnie, Gus, Harriet, Clark Kroonquist in Gilby, North Dakota, Bruce Anderson in Fargo, Mrs. Dick Johnson in Roseau, Minnesota, Ron Charpentier in Fargo, Mr. Grant Herod in Moorhead, Bill DePay in Grafton. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate your support. Tony Crawford in Mandan, North Dakota, Mr. and Mrs. Tom Birdall in Grand Forks. Boyd's doing a great job on that play-by-play, isn't he? We're delighted that he was available to go out there and bring this game back to you. Dick and Patty Anderson in Fargo. Let's get all of these phones ringing. We've got a number of them sitting open right now, and we sure need your support. Like I say, this program is picked up exclusively for Prairie Public Television. We had to buy the broadcast rights. Some of the cable companies have the rights, but we felt we really had to do this because there was such a limited penetration of cable in the area that not many of you would have had a chance to see it. So we purchased the broadcast rights, made arrangements for a pickup in Providence, hired a company from Hartford, Connecticut to go over to Providence and do it, and made arrangements to feed the signal back here where we broadcast it through our stations in Fargo, Grand Forks, Bismarck, and Minot into your homes. This is your team, your public television station, and your dollars are what keep it going. Non-profit, non-commercial. You can charge your pledge if you'd like on Visa or MasterCharge. However you'd like to do it, do it. Don't put it off. We'll be back at the end of the game, but really, I don't expect a lot of you to sit around after the game and wait for me to convince you to become supporting members of public television. We need your support, and we need it now. I've got, right over here, I've got 4 or 5 phones open, 3 more over there, a couple back there. You can get to that phone and call right now. It's very quick, it's very simple. It'll take you less than a minute. That's a 50-cent phone call. And we had so many calls during the month preceding this hockey championship that we know there are many of you out there who are waiting to see this game, and you are calling public television because that's where you'd seen it during the year. Well, we came through for you. We've got a game here, and it's a great game. Sioux leading 3-0. Ross Turner in Pembina became a supporting member. He's watching and helping pay for it. Odin Dahl in Fargo, watching and helped pay for it. Michael Hofsharth in Langdon, North Dakota, thank you. Jerry Knutson in Mandan, Larry Smith in Fargo, Jim Growlam in Fargo, Gene Bartlett in Devil's Lake. Let's see. Christian Brothers hockey sticks. I don't know if we'll get him. Boyd was going to try to line up an interview with Dave later on after the game. I hope he can manage it. PD's Restaurant in Elm Tree Square in Fargo. Supporting members, that's a thought many people like to give through their businesses. If you're a small business, call in now, 701-293-3231. Pledge that $5 a month, the $10 a month, the $100 Builders Club, the $25 membership. You'll get the program guide, you get a tax deduction when you itemize, but most of all, you assure that we can count on you when it's time to do something important like this. Somebody called in and said, hey, how come you're doing hockey? You're the public television station. What are you spending your money on hockey for? Well, that's precisely why we're spending it, because we're the public television station, and this is something that's very important to this area right now, so that's why we're doing it. And we know we can count on you. Call right now, 293-3231. If you're living in Kenmare, in Minot, in Bismarck, Berthold, Grand Forks, Fargo, wherever you are, call that number and make that pledge right now. You'll join Jeff Frieder in Moorhead, Walt Stack in Bismarck, thank you, Don Dryden in Drayton, North Dakota, Terry Strand in Bismarck became a supporting member, Jim Holman in Fargo, Gordon Irwin in Harwood, Dr. Gillespie in Larimore, Mike Hancock in Bismarck, Howard Blame in Fargo, Halliburton's in Ray, North Dakota, And let's see, Richard Narum in Fargo, North Dakota. Here's some more names coming in. Call in, join these people who are really ensuring that we can pay for this, and we need to know that we have this kind of support, so when it comes time to do this again next year, we can say, hey, we know that the people who want this kind of programming, the hockey games, the hockey championships, will call. Tom Olson in West Fargo, Jim Kalfas in Rolla, North Dakota, Dr. Jim Templin in Emerado, Dave Morinville in Moorhead, Jim Myrie in Fergus Falls, Susan and Steve Podgrilla in Minot, Walter Cleven in Larimore, thank you much, Charles Murphy in Niagara, High Flight in Warroad, Minnesota, Mike Ness in Fargo, Dr. and Mrs. George Hiltz in Maddock, North Dakota, Clarence Sanduck in Cooperstown, North Dakota, Dean Flanders in Minto, North Dakota. 293-3231 is the number. Call in and make your pledge. Your dollars are paying for this programming. Public television came through for you. We hope that you'll come through for public television. If you're watching, if you're enjoying this, we hope that you'll feel an obligation to call in and help pay for it, because we are nonprofit, we are non-commercial. We don't have that reserve back there that we can call on. We hope to have it someday, but right now we don't have it. We do something like this, it's pure faith, folks. We're going out and doing this because we know that we can count on you. That's what's made this public television system grow, is because we relate to you. We try and put on what you feel is necessary and provide programming that's got meaning for this area. In return, we do expect you to help pay for it. That number again is 293-3231. H.A. Johnson in Winnipeg became a supporter. Rodney Ekron in Bismarck, John Scharr in West Fargo, Bruce Colding in Grand Forks, Paul and Mary Swenson in Fargo, and Gary Sundquist in Dickinson, Myron Demers in Valley City. Okay, we're going to get back to the third period here. We'll be back after the game. Our operators will be here during this third period. If you haven't become a supporting member, call in 701-293-3231 and pledge your support so public television can continue to serve you.
Prairie Public Television, KSRE Channel 6 Minot, KGFE Channel 2 Grand Forks, KFME Channel 13 Fargo, and KBME Channel 3 Bismarck.
Back at the Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island, all set to start period 3 of our NCAA Hockey Championship. North Dakota with a 3-0 lead over Northern Michigan, and we'll show you how they added that third goal in that second period of play as Doug Smale handling the puck right here. You'll see him make a little pass looking for Sykes. Sykes goes down. Watch this now. Get the puck back to Smale. And watch this great move. Watch his backhand. Right there. Sweeps it in. That's goal number 3 for Doug Smale, who right now is looming as a pretty good choice maybe for most valuable player in this tournament. That remains to be seen. We have a period of hockey to go as both teams return to the ice. At least the Wildcats are coming out. Wildcats have been frustrated through 2 periods of play. The North Dakota defense has really rallied in front of freshman goalie Darren Jensen, who has been called on to make just 10 saves tonight, 5 in each period. On the other side, Steve Weeks, 11 saves in the first period, 19 shots at Weeks in that second period. He's kicked away 30 of them. And North Dakota has a 3-0 lead and has completely frustrated the Wildcats this evening. North Dakota, in their opening round of play against Dartmouth, a 4-1 win, and they were rather lethargic in that game until 6 minutes remained when they got all 4 goals. Their play was characterized by head coach Gino Gasparini as rather uninspired. He said, we didn't play very good hockey. We're a little tight. Coach Gasparini thought the 2-week layoff had hurt his Sioux team in that opener against Dartmouth. His top line of Smale, Taylor, and Sykes also did not perform that well in the opener. But they have come back tonight and have played excellent hockey, and have, at least through 2 periods of play, have given the Wildcats fits, as the Wildcats are only able to get 10 shots away at Darren Jensen, and probably 2 of the 10 were what you would call a difficult variety for the freshmen to make.
I know, Boyd, that most of the North Dakota fans will be traveling on a charter tonight back to Grand Forks, as well as a lot of the fans from Northern Michigan will be taking a charter back. But the Northern Michigan hockey team will not be leaving until tomorrow, and they are expected to arrive back at the Marquette County Airport at 10:30 on Sunday evening. And I know, win or lose tonight, that the Northern Michigan fans are going to be out there to greet their team, because it's been an absolutely fantastic year for the Wildcats, and only their 4th year of hockey to make it to the championship game of the NCAA championships is quite a remarkable feat. And I know all the Wildcat fans back in Marquette will be out there 10:30 Sunday night to greet the team.
The Sioux charter, as last word, we had scheduled to leave Providence at 1:30 this morning. About a 3-hour flight back to Grand Forks, North Dakota. If we have any update on that, we'll pass it along to you. As we're set to start the 3rd period of play, North Dakota, frustrated a year ago against the Minnesota Gophers in a 4-3 loss, have come back here in 1980 to build a 3-0 lead on a fine offensive display by junior forward Doug Smale and a sterling defensive performance by the entire Sioux team, as they have kept the Wildcats at bay through 2 periods of hockey before the attendance, which was just announced as 6,056 here in the Civic Center, which has a seating capacity of just under 10,000. One of the fine hockey facilities, I would say, anywhere in the country. And 6,000 fans, the biggest crowd of the tournament in the last the biggest crowd of the 3-day tourney, 6,056 tonight. They've seen some fine hockey as we get into period number 3. Wildcats push it in, a bouncing puck, frozen in front of that cage by Darren Jensen. They started another faceoff here in period 3. Jensen, 10 saves through 2 periods. Weeks with 30 saves through 2 periods, including 19 in the second. Bozic, number 19. Facing off. And the Wildcats will chase it back into the far end as both teams are back at full strength as Chadwick skates out of that penalty box. And Sioux again skate off yet another power play by the Wildcats. Wildcats try and push it up to center ice. We've got a delay coming up here. A delay call, going to be an icing call, I believe, against the Sioux. Bring it to center ice for the faceoff. Just into our 3rd period. There's the man of the hour right now, number 8, Doug Smale. 2 goals in the 1st period, a single goal in the 2nd. Giving him 42 for the year and a total of 86 points. On the draw, Berrigan pushes along the boards on the far side. Vulcan there to cut it off for the Sioux. Back up to the center ice. Sykes pushes along the boards. Smale tries to get a stick on it. Can't do so. Bozic comes away with it for the Wildcats and brings it back up toward the blue line. Pass to Kostoff on the far side. He pushes it down the corner, going behind the cage. Jensen is back there trying to help out Howard Walker, and it's frozen against the boards. We've got a face-off coming up. Howard Walker, sophomore. Grand Prairie, Alberta. As the Sioux change lines, as do the Wildcats. Kyle, number 8, going to face it off here in a moment. It's Frank Berggraft.
We've got a little delay as Mickey Wilkin is talking right now, trying to get something straight with the referee. Now we're going to have a face-off.
All right, there's the face-off. Wildcats chase it down at center ice. North Dakota so far this evening. Berrigan pushes it in. Waiting for it is Mark Chorney. Chorney pushes it back up into neutral ice. Sioux working on a 3-0 lead here. Ludwig takes a check from Kyle. Puck comes up along the boards of the Sioux control. Here comes the breakup pass to Frank Berggraft. Tries to make a move to get free. Nicely trailing on the play has the puck. Shoots it down to the corner. It's going to come up on the near side. Waiting for it there is White. White tries to make the centering pass. Can't get a stick on it. It's swept away. Ludwig comes in, trying to keep it in on the far side of the Wildcats. Will bring it back toward that blue line. Sioux really giving them fits. Here it comes at center ice. And again, North Dakota gets a stick on it. Mark Chorney goes cross ice with it to Ludwig, and Ludwig pushes it back up in the neutral zone. Sioux push it across the line. Berggraf goes to the ice. Tries to push it in. The Wildcats come away. Centering pass for Ncaa. Gets away from him. Now the Wildcats come in again. Pyle with a slap shot. Beautiful glove save by Jensen. I believe the shot would have been wide to the right side, but a pretty stretch by goalie Darren Jensen.
It's one of the toughest saves he's had all night.
Jensen trying to get through the season unbeaten. He started 13 times for North Dakota. He's won 12 and has been tied once. Sioux brought a record of 30 wins, 8 losses, and a tie into this game tonight. The Wildcats, with the best record in the country, 34 wins, 5 losses, and a tie. Jensen repairing his pads at the moment. That sometimes is a move by the goalie to slow down momentum on the part of the other team. I can't say the Wildcats have hit much tonight, Tony, at least not to this point. They really have to get something going here early in this period if they're going to make a game out of it. It's 3-0 right now. We're 2 minutes gone in the final period. Hansen, the big guy at center ice, tries to get it to Waddell. Both teams at full strength. We've had a number of penalties tonight on both sides. Coming up to poke it away at center ice to take a hard shot is Smale, and Smale is down. Smale took a elbow, I believe, or maybe a portion of the stick. It was accidental. There is no penalty on the play, but it is Doug Smale, the man with all the goals tonight.
Smale is 5'9", 170 pounds. He got that check along the boards from Keith Hansen, who's 6'5", goes around 210, 212. So there's quite a difference in size in that hit.
Smale down. It appeared to be a blow of some kind to the upper body, up around the chin or the left cheek of Doug Smale. We're at 17:46, period 3, Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island. Very colorful community with history just dripping from the sides of the ancient buildings you see along the main thoroughfares of this quaint city. 6,000 people from the area looking on tonight as the North Dakota Sioux are looking for their 3rd national championship, winning in 1959 and repeating in 1963. They were runners-up on 3 other occasions, in 1958, 1968, and of course last year, 1979. Okay, we'll take a look at the replay. Watch the lower left-hand corner of your screen, and we'll see if we can pick out here. There's Smale. Okay, watch in the lower left-hand corner. Here comes Smale along the boards, and let's see, right there. Okay. And Keith Hansen was the man who administered the check that has put Doug Smale to the ice here at 17:46. Smale with 2 goals first period, 1 in the second. Now he's getting to his feet, getting a nice round of applause. If this situation holds where we are right now, and the ballots have been passed out for an all-tournament team, Doug Smale is going to receive, I'm sure, a lot of consideration as most valuable player this evening. And now let me see. All right. I'm looking... Okay. We were calling him Doug Smale. Was that Dean decision? No.
No, it was Doug Smale.
Okay, I got confused. We switched the shot there. Okay. I thought I'd made an error. Okay, on the face-off, North Dakota in control. On the scoreboard and with the puck right now. They put on quite an exhibition tonight. Chorney's pass on the far side is long. Wildcats track it down. Decision stops an outlet pass, but the Wildcats get it right back, push it up the center ice. Sioux get a stick on it. Decision cross ice for Rick Meyer. Meyer from Ludwig. Meyer, rink-wide pass to Dean Decision, the freshman. The big guy starts to drive, gets the pass back, and coming up to make the save is Weeks, and he freezes the puck. Good effort by Weeks, who had 30 saves through 2 periods. Decision and Zapernick in the rush.
Weeks has been heavily tested. In the first 2 periods alone, 30 saves, and once again he had to come up with another big save. He Just barely got that into his glove. Otherwise, it would have been loose for anybody to poke it right into the net.
Wildcats number 1 line against the Sioux number 4 line. Vulcan a slap shot from the point, wide to the right side. Wildcats trying to push it up into neutral ice. Joyce gets the stick on it, but there to poke it away is Walker. And Ncaa looking his white, trying to get a shot away, and he can't do it. Written off the play, and the Wildcats control it. They've got their number 1 line of Milkey, Waddell, and Joyce in there right now. Again, Walker gets a stick on it. Sioux have really kept the Wildcats at bay. Walker, rink-wide pass, and the Sioux slap it down. Easy save for Weeks, pushes it to one side. He had 49 saves in an earlier game against the Sioux. He's up at the 33 mark right now as the Wildcats have it at center ice. Pass for Joyce off his skate. Loose puck picked up by North Dakota. Check at center ice, and the Wildcats get it back. Hansen to Waddell. Waddell tries to get it to Joyce. Joyce is ridden into the boards. The puck comes back to center ice, and Hansen controls. Wildcats desperately trying to get something going here. 16-17 to play. They've been unable to break through that stingy Sioux defense tonight. They trail it 3-0. Both teams at full strength as North Dakota comes across the line. Walker trying to finesse his way around Toskov. Can't do it. The puck is frozen against the boards. Will face it off in the Wildcat zone.
North Dakota was able to score 4 goals within 4 minutes in that win over Dartmouth on Thursday night, but I feel as though Northern Michigan is probably going to have to score here early to pull within 2 to have a chance in this game tonight.
On the face-off, Martins gets the draw. Chadwick trying to get a stick on it, and comes up to center ice. Wildcats push it down. Berrigan pushes it along the boards, sails behind the Sioux cage. Backhanded pass by Travis Dunn to Martins. Sioux in control here. Travis Dunn is playing keep away from the Wildcats right now. Sioux trying to break it out of there. Pushed up to center ice by Martins. Carroll tries to get a breakaway, but he's ridden off the play, and the Wildcats pick it up, and we come the other way at the 15:30 mark of the final period. Board pass as the Wildcats try to get the rush started. Pass to center ice, intending it for Winter. Winter couldn't get a stick out of it. The Sioux come back the other way. The shot by Martins. The save is made by Weeks once again. 35 for him on the night. Line change for both sides. And Doug Smale is back. He's going to skate his regular shift. Zapernick on the face-off. The wings will be Sykes and Smale. Face-off. Quick slap shot off the face-off taken by Ludwig. Wide to the left side, comes back up through center ice, and a good check takes Tignanelli out of the play, and the puck is up for grabs, and the Sioux have it. Here comes Doug Smale, has the hat trick already, tries to get free. He's going to get a shot. It's a weak shot, backhander, save is made, and Weeks, I believe, mothers it, as Smale and Tignanelli get into a shoving match. Smale just a little out of control as he came in on that right wing side and didn't have much on the backhander, Tony, and Weeks was able to make the save.
I don't know if we'll see a replay, but it appeared as though the puck might have come loose there and it was stopped by a defenseman. Quite a lot of traffic in front of that Northern Michigan net.
Been a busy night for goalie Steve Weeks in Northern Michigan. Let's take a look at it and see if we can see what happened. Here it comes, Tony. Okay, there's the backhander. So that puck... My gosh, that puck was free in there. A defender was lying on top of it. Okay, on the face-off. Sykes behind the Wildcat cage. Zapernick through the crease, nobody there. Sykes picks it up on the far side. Laidlaw rides him off the play. Zapernick comes in to help out, and Laidlaw is going to freeze it against the boards for the face-off. 14:39 to play, period 3. The Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island. North Dakota and Northern Michigan battling for the NCAA Division I Hockey Championship. North Dakota earned their way into this final with a 4-1 win over Dartmouth, and last night the Northern Michigan Wildcats wore down a stubborn Cornell team for a 5-4 win. Faceoff will come to Weeks' left side. Burgraff against Pyle. Wildcats control it. Loose puck just to the left of the cage, and very wisely Weeks falls on it. We'll have another face-off in that same spot. background playing the Olympic theme song. Quick shot on the face-off, hits the pipe. Rebound out in front. Another shot goes high over the cage. Shot was taken by White. White looking for that centering pass from Berggraf. Couldn't get a stick on it. White hit the pipe on the left side. Wildcats finally throw it out of there. Comes up to neutral ice. Knightsky in a foot race. Can't get to it. Vulcan trying to track it down behind the cage. Jensen will get the pass to him. Being chased on the play. Gets it up to the blue line. And the Wildcats try and keep it in. We have an offside.
14-12 remaining in the third period now. And, from what I can remember, it's the second time now that North Dakota has had a clear shot to beat Steve Weeks that's hit the post.
All right, 3-0. The score remains as both teams again change lines. The music you heard in the background is being played by a group that call themselves the Thunderbolt Band. They're from Cranston East Rhode Island High School, and they were hired by the University of North Dakota Sioux Booster Club, and they were dressed up in Sioux T-shirts and Sioux caps, and that's the Sioux band here for this tournament. Shot is wide to the left by Myers. Sioux try and keep the pressure on, but the Wildcats bring it back into neutral ice. On the attack, pass for Joyce off his skates. Sioux will try and clear it out of there, ride it back up into the neutral zone. That's Travis Dunn, number 20. The Wildcats push it back in again. Jensen makes the easy save, pushes it off to one side, and Dunn picks it up behind the cage. Forward pass to the far side. Centering pass comes out to White. Push down to the corner, and we have... No, it's not an icing call. Puck was touched. Laidlaw on the board pass to Bozic. To Fisher. Fisher down to the corner. Shoot it in the corner and chase it. That's been the strategy for both clubs tonight. And again, the Sioux come out of there with it. Wildcats come up empty yet another time. They've only had about a dozen shots on goal through 2 periods and 7 minutes. And there's an offside against the Cats. We've seen that frequently tonight. They'll bring it back to neutral ice for the face-off.
A little frustration on the part of senior Bill Joyce, senior from Mississauga, Ontario. He's open on the left wing, but just a fraction across the blue line, and that's the way it's been all night for the Wildcats. They've been nervous in this entire tournament, their first appearance ever in the NCAA championships.
All the more amazing when you consider that their hockey program was started at Northern Michigan just 4 years ago. And here they are 4 years later playing for the national title. Another icing call to bring it back the long way for the face-off, 12:57. Doug Smale with 2 goals in the first period, 1 goal in the second, and it's been pretty quiet since that time. Sioux peppered a lot of shots at Steve Weeks in that second period, 19 of them. Moments ago, White hit the pipe on a slap shot from the point for North Dakota, but other than that, it's been pretty quiet. It's been a defensive standoff for the last 10 minutes of play. On the face-off, Wildcats pick it up. By Flanagan to Hansen. Tries to get it to Berrigan, but Martins is there to push it back around the boards. Wildcats pick it up, shoot it up to the blue line, but Chorney keeps it back in for North Dakota. Again, the Sioux keep it in, keep the pressure on. Drop pass by Dusty Carroll. Martins couldn't get to it. Down in the corner, and Ludwig going to track it down for North Dakota. 12.5 minutes to play in this championship final. We got a face-off as the puck again frozen against the boards, and we got some fists being thrown.
Northern Michigan is taking a few more chances in its forechecking patterns, and they're going to have to do that for the remainder of the contest. 12:24 remaining in the game, and they're going to have to take a few more chances to try and create a scoring opportunity. And at the same time, it's probably going to open a few doors for the Sioux.
All right, no infraction of the rules on the last little exchange along the boards as both teams change lines. And the face-off coming in the Wildcat attack zone at 12:24. The score stuck on that 3-0 North Dakota.
Have a little delay there as they're getting the water bottle from Steve Weeks, running it over to the bench. It's very hot down on the ice. I know, talking with players from a couple of the different teams, that they've been complaining about the heat in this building, and the ice has also been not the best since they only put it down on Tuesday just for this tournament, and they'll take it out again. They had ice, I guess, beginning of the season for an exhibition pro hockey game, but otherwise there hasn't been any ice in here, and it's had a little trouble with the ice getting it to settle down.
Okay, waiting that face-off, as Coach Comley said at his press conference after the win last night over Cornell, he said, we're tired. Right now we're really tired, and just how we're going to do tomorrow night, depends on how quickly we regain our stamina.
Okay, they're tying the water bottle down now. They do have a water bottle that they do put on the nets, but it has to be tied down, and it looks as though they're getting it squared away there. Jeff Powell, sophomore from Bloomington, Minnesota, giving a little assistance to Steve Weeks. There we go.
12:24 to play. Play is resumed. We'll have the face-off in the Wildcat attack zone as John Gino Gasparini looks on. Look at the jaws going. He really works that gum. Got to feel pretty good right now looking at that scoreboard. His team in control 3-0, and they control the face-off. Here comes Doug Smale, who's been the whole offensive show. Slap shot. Boy, he whistles one. He shot one through the net at North Dakota a few weeks ago, through the back of the net. The errant shot picked off for the Wildcats. Now they try and clear. Slap shot by Walker. Loose puck out in front, and the Wildcats are able to clear it away. Toskoff gets a stick on it. Tries to get it out of there, and the Sioux get it back once again. They've got a shot right out in front of. There's a goal. There's number 4 is North Dakota. Stuck on that 3 for a period and a half has made it 4-0. And a goal right out in front. I did not see the player's number. I think it may have been Carroll, but look at it again on the replay. Quick wrist shot. Here it comes. Beautiful. So North Dakota moves out in front 4-0. At 11:58 to play in the third period.
It'd be an unassisted goal.
Number 25, Phil Sykes. Sykes, who got 2 in the opener and has 3 assists tonight, has just added a goal, so it's been a productive series for Phil Sykes, the sophomore from Dawson Creek, British Columbia, coming up with his 3rd point of the night as the Sioux have built a 4-0 margin here, and time running out for the Northern Michigan Wildcats, who are just unable to get anything going here, trailing 4-0 with just about 11.5 minutes to play. Slap shot from a bad angle and knocks Jensen right back into the cage, but he made the save. Bad angle shot, very deep on that left wing side. But Jensen was able to make the stop. Let's take a look at it again.
I think that shot was taken a little bit out of frustration that they just haven't been able to get in close on Jensen. Jeff Powell takes that shot along the left boards, and Jensen falls back in, but is able to keep that puck from going into the net.
The freshman goalie working on a championship final shutout right now. Zappernick gets it across ice to Ludwig. Ludwig's going to carry it across the blue line. Drop pass for decision on the right wing side. Behind the cage, Ludwig picks it off, but it's poke checked away. We go the other way. The Wildcats controlling. Just over 11 minutes to play as Laidlaw carries it down into the corner. Centered out in front. Weak shot wide to the left side. And again, Jensen is there to freeze the puck and make the save. And we have another little altercation between Kyle, number 27, and Ludwig. And you saw the policeman for the Wildcats here, big number 24, Keith Hansen, come in and take a lick at Ludwig. Hansen was 72 penalty minutes coming into the game tonight. He said 1 penalty this evening for a total of 74. But no damage done, say the officials, no penalty. And at 11:06 with North Dakota leading 4-0, face-off will come to the right of Darren Jensen. Has not been that busy tonight. Around a dozen saves for him this evening. On the far side, Dusty Carroll tries to get a stick on it. He's ridden off the play. Here comes the centering pass back to Carroll now. They get the breakout going. Chadwick across the blue line, loses control. We're going to have an offside call.
10:49 remaining in the third period. Northern Michigan trailing the Fighting Sioux of North Dakota by a score of 4-0. North Dakota will get its championship after being denied last year to Minnesota.
It's been a very unemotional contest, Tony. The crowd strangely quiet. It's been rather a one-sided affair since the Sioux built it up to 3-0, now 4-0, and rather lethargic fans on both sides of Northern Michigan and North Dakota. Northern Michigan with not too much to cheer about, and the Sioux fans sitting back kind of content right now that they may have that championship for 1980 tucked away with a 4-0 lead and 10.5 minutes showing on the clock. Puck is out of play. We're going to face off at center ice as the Sioux will change lines. as do the Wildcats. Wildcats sent out their number 2 unit. On the face-off, Zapernick comes in. Stick save made by Weeks. Nice effort. Centering pass again to Zapernick. He couldn't get anything on it. Rather to Sykes. Wildcats trying to get it out of here. Here's Joyce, leading scorer in the country. He's been frustrated, as have all the Wildcats tonight. Carries it across the line. Checked off the play by Sykes. Joyce goes down. Point shot is saved by Jensen once again. As Darren Jensen, with a fine effort again, preserving that shutout, 4-0.
Northern Michigan has been creating some opportunities, trying to at least ruin the shutout of Darren Jensen. We're going to see a replay on this one. Mike Milkey out front trying to get the deflection, but Jensen sprawled out there and was able to cover up on the play.
On the face-off, wanting the quick shot was Milkey, but he couldn't get control of the puck. They tried a centering pass, but the Sioux were there to pick it off. They get a rush of their own. Sykes coming into the left wing side. Drop pass Smale, shot wide to the left side. Behind the cage, Sykes trying to get the centering pass. Zapernick was all alone out in front. Sioux couldn't get control, and the Wildcats try and clear. Once again, the Sioux come up with it. In the corner, they try and center it to Sykes. He's ridden off the play by Hansen. Hansen takes him down and sits on him. And we'll have a face-off. No penalty. Face-off coming up. Still Sykes gets to his skates. He had 2 goals in the opener. He has 3 assists and a goal tonight. He has assisted on all 3 of Doug Smale's goals. So the Sioux send out Knightsky, Berggraf, and White. Berggraf on the face-off, waiting for that puck to drop. We're at 9:49 right now. Quick shot off the face-off, and it goes high into the crowd. We'll have another face-off in that Sioux attack zone. White on the slap shot. Judge. Face off again. Quick shot by Travis Dunn. It's wide to the left. Wildcats try and throw it out of there. Laidlaw pass along the boards on the far side for Berrigan. Berrigan can't get to it. Centering pass comes to the left of the cage. And a save made by Weeks.
With only 9:33 remaining in the contest, we've had the North Dakota fans doing a little routing of the Northern Michigan fans, kind of goading them on, but the Northern Michigan fans, their first trip ever to an NCAA championships, they're here in pretty good numbers, and they're not quitting as they've been giving their team some good solid backing even in this 3rd period.
Okay, the face-off coming to the left of Steve Weeks, and the Wildcats control it. 9.5 minutes to play. North Dakota with what looks to be an awfully big 4-0 lead right now. Waddell at center ice pushes it up into neutral ice, and Berrigan chases it. He and White in a foot race. Travis Dunn picks it up for North Dakota in that Wildcat attack zone. Takes a return pass. Dunn comes up on the near side. Centering pass is too long for White. Wildcats bring it back into neutral ice. Berrigan, number 5. Whistles a nice pass to Waddell. Waddell drops the pass. Slap shot taken by Tagnanelli. That's kicked away wide to the left side. Sioux pick it up and break it out of there as we're under 9 minutes to play. North Dakota 4, Northern Michigan no score. Berrigan breaks up the play. Sioux keep the pressure on. Push it down behind the cage. Looking for the centering pass, and smothering the puck is Weeks. Sioux tried to dig it out behind that cage. That was Knightsky. With the centering pass for White, and Weeks throws the puck. Will have the face-off. Steve Weeks, one of the fine goalies in collegiate hockey.
Weeks came into this game with a 2.89 goals against average, 35 appearances on the year. He had a 29-5-1 record.
Quick but easy shot on the face-off taken by the Sioux. Save made. Here's Zapernick stealing, looking for the centering pass, and just out of reach of Rick Myers. Sioux keep it in play. Sioux still keeping the pressure on. They're not sitting on that 4-0 lead by any means. Mark Shorney. Rink wide pass to Ludwig. Ludwig at center ice. Toskov gets a stick on it, tries to clear it out of there, but Ludwig keeps it in play, shoots it along the boards, tries to track it down. Hansen rides in into the plexiglass. Loose puck comes out to Myers. Myers can't keep a stick on it. Kyle tries to clear, getting some competition from Decision and Zapernick. Now Kyle comes to center ice and shoots it down into the far corner. Jensen will push it behind the cage and leave it for Mark Shorney. Shoots it along the boards, trying to get it up into center ice, but Walt Kyle again keeps it in. Centering pass. Sioux there again to break it up. They've been just superb defensively tonight. Wildcats at neutral ice with 7:50 to play. Kyle. Pass on the far side for Ncaa. Ncaa down into the corner. Misses a check from Ludwig. Here's a centering pass, and the Wildcats try to get a stick on it. A turnaround shot taken by Pyle. That's no good. Another shot out in front. That's no good. Shot at point-blank range is wide to the right side as the Wildcats had their two best opportunities of the evening. And with Jensen on the ice, that last shot, I believe, taken by Pyle was way wide to the right side.
Jeff Pyle just holding his head down there. He just couldn't believe it. Parked right out front in the net, probably about 20 feet out. Had the shot, but shot it wide.
Penalty coming up on Mark Horney of North Dakota. So the Sioux will skate shorthanded, and the Wildcats have the power play opportunity here at 7:34 of the final period as the Wildcat fans give their team a standing ovation. What a tribute to the great job that the Wildcats organization has done in building this team in just 4 short years. On the face-off, puck pushed down to the far corner. The Wildcats will start the power play. High sticking the call on Mark Chorney. Time of the penalty is 7:30. Wildcats bring it back, trying to get on the scoreboard here in this national championship final. Walt Kyle brings it out the point to Laidlaw. Laidlaw has Waddell with him on the other point. Down in the corner it goes. Wildcats walk it in a step or two. Shots knocked down. Back out to the point. Laidlaw keeps it in once again. Goes over to Waddell on the right point. Waddell down in the corner. Moving in a step or two is Bozic. Back to Waddell. He's going to have the slap shot. And again, Jensen makes the save.
There's a lot of Wildcat green waiting right around Jensen for that puck to come loose. Waddell with that low drive.
Watch the save. Here it comes again. You might be looking at the all-tournament goalie in action right now. There in Jensen. And he does it again. Well, I tell you, he's got my vote. He's been just outstanding. What a spot for a freshman to be in. National championship final, and he has not been called on to make that many saves tonight, but he has been very tough when he has had to be, as you saw in that last shot. Slap shot by Waddell. Just a freshman. Bob Iwabuchi, the other talented Sioux goaltender, a sophomore. Things look awfully good in that department for North Dakota. 6:49 to play. Sioux skating a man short. Smale, the premier penalty killer in collegiate hockey in the United States out there now, putting some pressure on the Wildcats, who have been frustrated at every turn. Waddell picks it up, moves back up toward neutral ice. Time running out on Northern Michigan after a great season. Up on the point, it's Waddell. Waddell along boards behind the cage. Walker trying to get it out of there. Wildcats keep it in. Walker goes to the ice, and we got a face-off coming up as the puck is frozen into the boards.
Just like to pass along a reminder that for the fans back in Marquette, the Northern Michigan hockey team will be coming back on the Republic flight into Marquette 10:30 Sunday night, and I know all the fans will want to go out to greet the Wildcats for the fine season they've had this year, in only their 4th year of hockey, going all the way to the finals of the NCAA championships. 6:18 remaining in the 3rd period. North Dakota out in front by a score of 4-0. Mark Chorney out for high sticking. He still has 44 seconds remaining in his penalty. This is the 5th power play opportunity for the Wildcats in tonight's game.
Okay, in the face-off, slap shot, Laidlaw again, knocked down by Jensen. Rebound tries wide to the right side. Waddell keeps it on the right point. Coming in is Walt Kyle. Tried to work the give and go, and look at the defense played by North Dakota. They break it up again. Martins goes into the boards, being pushed there by Bozic. Bozic comes away with it. Trying to get the centering pass. North Dakota with a 4-0 lead and playing like they're leading by a single goal. They have not lost any of the enthusiasm and excitement that had carried them to this 4-0 lead. Jensen makes the save, loses the puck. Kyle was there to pick it up, couldn't get the stuff play as he was cut off by Dunn. Wildcats still with 7 seconds to go in the penalty, playing the waiting game now out on the point. Laidlaw winds up, doesn't shoot, gives Waddell. Waddell fakes the slap shot, gives off on the left side. There's a goal. They finally were able to penetrate. The Wildcats are on the board, and Jensen lost his shutout here at 5:31. Let's take a look at it. Beautiful pass, rink wide. Waddell right there on the rink wide pass. The goal. Wildcats are on the board 4-1 here at 5:31.
Bill Joyce's 41st goal of the season. He now has 96 points on the year. All-time Wildcats score with 254 points.
Bill Joyce, who had 38 goals and 57 assists coming into this game tonight. Hit 2 goals in that win over Cornell last night. Finally breaks the ice for the Wildcats here at 5:31 with an assist to Waddell. 4-1. North Dakota up by 3 with 5.5 minutes remaining. Wildcats still clawing away. Chorney controls. At center ice, the Wildcats push it back in, and Ludwig is there to pick it up for the North Dakota Sioux. Ludwig gets it back at neutral ice. The pass for White is behind his back. Wildcats pick it off. Hulk shoots it over the plexiglass and into the crowd. We'll have a face-off at center ice.
Also getting an assist on that goal, a power play goal by Bill Joyce at 14:29. Don Waddell and Tom Laidlaw.
Double assist, Laidlaw and Waddell. Assisting Billy Joyce as the Wildcats trailing 4-1. They get something going here at the 5:08 mark of the final period. 6,056 fans looking on at the Providence Civic Center, Providence, Rhode Island. Live hockey action. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. In North Dakota, Michigan, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg down the line. Chorney picks up the loose puck. Check from behind. Ridden off the play by Ncaa. Wildcats fired up now after that last goal. Hansen tries to get a slap shot away at the point. It's knocked down. Backhander is wide to the left side, taken out in front. Loose puck in the crease comes off to Hansen. Hansen slap shot. That's knocked away by the defense out in front again. Back out to the point. Hansen keeps it in. Goes back on the left side. Another shot. There's another goal. 4-2. And hey, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Don't go away. Suddenly, the Wildcats have shot themselves right back into this one. Let's take a look at it.
We could see a repeat of the Thursday night game here.
See what happens.
Beautiful shot from the left side. Catches right up in the upper right-hand corner. It's now North Dakota 4, Northern Michigan 2. Thursday night, North Dakota scored 4 goals within 4 minutes against Dartmouth as they trailed 1-0 throughout most of the entire contest. We still have 4:34 remaining in this game.
Well, they lulled us to sleep for a period and a half, Tony. And suddenly the fans have something to cheer about. Northern Michigan's cheering section on their feet. The North Dakota fans are showing a little concern as we have a 4-2 hockey game with 4 minutes and 34 seconds to play. And boy, the adrenaline has to be flowing for the Wildcats right now. Burgraff takes a hard check from behind by Pernod, and he's ridden off the play. Puck comes behind the cage. Wildcats pick it up, and things looked awfully bleak just 2 minutes ago. Suddenly it's a 4-2 hockey game. Still an uphill fight for the Wildcats, but they're charged up. Drop pass to Ponath from Waddell, but the Sioux cut it off. Shoot it back up into neutral ice.
Okay, the scoring on that, Terry Houck getting his 12th goal of the year. Assist went to Keith Hansen and Jeff Pyle.
Houck and Joyce with very quick goals here in the closing minutes of this third period. It's 4-2 as we have a piece of plexiglass that has come free on the far side. The official's working it right now, getting it back into place. I don't know. There we are. And now Gino Gasparini begins to pace. Gino has seen his team come back time after time in situations just such as the one tonight. The Sioux coasting along. Just everything was rosy, 4-0. Suddenly, 2 quick goals for the Wildcats, and the Sioux's lead has been cut in half, and we still have 4 minutes to play. Koskov starts the rush. The pass up ahead to Bozic. Bozic to Joyce. Tries to get it back to Bozic. And into the boards hard on the far side with Sykes and Bozic. Sykes is still on his knees.
We got an offside. Faceoff will come out just outside the North Dakota blue line. Sykes has had an excellent game for North Dakota. 3 assists and a goal. 4 points on the evening. Not a bad night for anybody.
Mark Taylor, the Sioux All-American, sidelined midway through the first period with a broken clavicle. So that first line decimated. Earlier, the loss of Kerry Eads, the last game of the season, with a bad ankle. Who played right wing on that Taylor-Smale line. On the faceoff, 3:50 to play. Vulcan to Howard Walker. Walker avoids a check. Moves it up along the boards. They try and break it out, but the Wildcats get it back. They had Joyce just to the left of the cage. Couldn't get the puck to him. Wildcats again putting the pressure on North Dakota freshman goalie Darren Jensen. Zapernick and Joyce going after it. Milky tries for the centering pass, comes up to the point. Toskoff shoots it wide to the left side. Joyce is there. Sioux a little concerned right now. The pressure is on. Back up to the point. Toskoff way wide to the right. Jensen went down, and Toskoff was wide of the marker. That could have been goal number 3. Up to center ice. Now the Sioux control. Zapernick with a man to beat. Holds it up back there. Pass on the right-hand side to Vulcan. Vulcan out in front. Wildcats are there to sweep it away. 3 minutes to play. North Dakota 4, Northern Michigan 2. Sioux try and keep it in, but the Wildcats push it up through that neutral ice. Brad Cox, rink-wide pass, goes on the far side. Right back this way for Erwin Martins. Martins coming in on the left wing side, getting some pressure, is ridden down in the play. Sioux fans want a penalty. No whistle as Toskoff picks it up, takes it behind the Wildcat cage with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play. Up at neutral ice. Wildcats try and chase it down. Houk can't get a stick on it. Gets by Brad Cox down in the corner. Martins picks it up for North Dakota. 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Play out in front. Kyle shot. No good. Kyle all alone out in front. Shot wide to the left side. Wildcats trying to keep the pressure on. Try and keep it in. Milky takes a hard check on the far side from Cox. Puck comes behind the cage. There with it is Mark Chorney. Now Cox. Burgraff, and they want the face-off and a whistle at 2:07 of the final period, with North Dakota leading Northern Michigan by a score of 4-2. The Sioux will change line.
Northern Michigan is showing why they have been ranked the #1 team in the country for 8 weeks and #2 going into this weekend. They finally, in the last 5 minutes, have really put a lot of life into their fans as they've been screaming for the last 3-4 minutes. And giving North Dakota quite a scare here. There's still plenty of time. 2:07 remaining in the game. Face off to the right of goaltender Darren Jensen.
On the face-off out to the point, Laidlaw, quick shot, blocked out in front, goes harmlessly to the right side. Hansen tries the centering pass. That's wide. Laidlaw keeps it in on the left point, puts it down in the corner. Centering pass picked off by Burgraff. Burgraff up front to Smale. Smale carries it across the line. He has 3 goals tonight. Goes all the way behind the cage. Looks for the centering pass, and it's a backhander that's wide of its mark. Down in the corner. Sioux still control it. Centering pass to Smale. He's got 4 goals on the night, and it's a 5-2 game. As Doug Smale picks up goal number 4. We'll take another look at it. And you'll be looking at, I think, the most valuable player in the 1980 NCAA tournament. Here's Sykes with a centering pass. Smale with a shot. That's 4 assists for Sykes. He has assisted on every one of Smale's goals tonight.
That's his 43rd goal of the year, too. Quite a performance by Doug Smale Jr. for North Dakota.
So just about the time when the Northern Michigan fans thought maybe their team was coming back and might pull a miracle, Doug Smale has dampened those hopes just a bit at the 139 mark by scoring his 4th goal of the night.
Doug Smale.
His 43rd goal of the year. And Sykes gets his 4th assist of the night. So Sykes with 5 points tonight, 4 assists and a goal. On the face-off, the Sioux control it. We're down to 1 minute and 29 to play. And the Sioux fans breathing a collective sigh of relief now as a little frightening as the Wildcats came back with the 2 quick goals to cut that lead in half. At center ice, Rick Myers. We're down to 1 minute 5. Myers to Kneitzke. Kneitzke centering pass. Nobody home. Goes through neutral ice, and Jensen will come out. Give directions to Brad Cox. Cox on the left side. Sioux fans starting to count the seconds now. It's 50. Come to Sioux again, a 3-on-2 rush. Kneitzke to Zapernick. Zapernick, a soft shot, not much on it. Easy save for Weeks. The Wildcats shoot it up in a neutral ice, picked off by Fisher. Fisher puts a shot in. That's no good. Or rather, a Winter, number 21. Wildcats can't keep it in. Goes back in a neutral ice with 25 seconds to play. North Dakota leading at 5-2 in the North Dakota Sioux champions of college hockey for 1979-80. 1980. count. Oh, the Sioux fans to their feet. 5 seconds to play as the Wildcats push it down into the attack zone. And the buzzer sounds, and the celebration begins as the University of North Dakota Sioux have defeated the Northern Michigan Wildcats by a score of 5-2 to claim the 1980 NCAA Collegiate Hockey title. It remains now for the trophy to be presented and the all-tournament team to be announced, and this tournament will be history as North Dakota finishes the season with their 31st win of the year. And the Northern Michigan Wildcats, what a success story, building their program